I don't have any chat or anything up.
Okay. Yeah, I wasn't a drinker, like you just said. I wasn't a drinker, so I didn't really know that when you mix alcohol with something else, you shouldn't do it half and half.
No, there should be more of the mix than the alcohol.
I didn't know that day.
At least 2/3 of the mix to alcohol. Oh man.
I had no idea that day. I didn't have any idea, and I got plastered. And it's that podcast is still available if you know where to look.
Talking about Angry Mailman?
Yes, that podcast is still available. And
so that was some strong ass orange juice, huh?
No, that was vodka and Diet Pepsi. I was mixing it half and half.
That sounds disgusting.
That sounds terrible.
I needed.
I drank before I learned what I was drinking.
That was all I had at the time, and I needed something that day, and you know, I don't like the taste of alcohol. Can't stand it, so I need to mix it with something, and that's what I had at the time. So I went for it.
Oh, that sounds painful.
Like what if all you had was like eggnog and you were like vodka? Well, I guess vodka and eggnog goes good. I was like trying to think of something. What if all you had was like, I was trying to think of like V8's fine. What is something nasty? I don't know.
Let me bring up what I drank in my teen years: cooking sherry and orange juice.
Cooking sherry.
Yes, it's got alcohol in it, so you drink a whole bunch of it.
Cooking sherry. Wow.
Cooking sherry. It's sherry, and it's gross.
My favorite drink right now is, I call it a cinnamon roll. It's Fireball and cream soda.
Ooh. That sounds good. Have you tried?
I think I've had one before, but I typically go big if I'm gonna drink, unless I'm in a schnapps mood, because like I'm also like a cheap drunk, so.
Well, schnapps is like more sugar than alcohol, so you get sicker.
Yeah.
Than you
your hangover.
You give me some schnapps and some sort of thing to mix it in, and about a drink and a half in.
You have the big schnapps? That's like already mixed, right?
It's a liqueur.
No, you mix it with the little mixer stuff. The little peach mixer stuff.
Strawberry. Currently have strawberry on our counter right now.
Yeah, see, but like you give me about a drink and a half of that, and I'm like, woo! I recently got fucked up on a episode of Single Serving Podcast. It's a show
like
that
recently,
I do,
like in the last like week or so.
A couple months.
Okay.
I was thinking about a month or so. So I had I think I had a can of hard lemonade. And what we did, and Rachel, it features all three members of the Dream Team, Single Serving Podcast.
I need to listen.
So you let Mike like knock you out? Like, come on.
So what had happened was we did an episode. The purpose of Single Serving is every show we do a different type of show, and
you talk about this.
And then once we finish the show, then we decide whether we're ever going to do that shit again. Okay, so this one
was a musical.
Yeah, so we did a episode where Rashani read a Choose Your Own Adventure book, and every time we died, we had to take a shot. And about 2 shots in, I'm like, is anybody else hot? Like, I took my shirt off. I was just sitting there. Well, I mean, we were on camera, but like, of course, I had on my tank top underneath. But like, I was like hot, and like, shit was just kind of fucked up. Like, I was not having a good day, and I felt so fucking terrible the next day. That's the reason why I don't drink as much as I probably should, is because I can't control it. And I'm not a drinker, so like I feel so shitty.
You don't drink as much as you should.
Yeah, I probably should. I probably like you know
Less,
like
more often.
it should be more often because like I just
But,
went through a
less each
breakup a
time.
couple of months ago, like all kinds of shit. You know what I mean? Like
No, I don't. You don't put your personal business out on Facebook or Twitter. I didn't know you went through a
because
breakup.
because of the mistakes that I made during my separation, where
Mm.
I put out too much.
Mm-hmm.
So
Well, I mean, if anyone knew you and her and y'all together and it, I mean, y'all's breakup was basically like a public, like the fact that you broke up at all
right,
was a big
yeah,
deal, and
and
everyone would want to know and need to know. Need.
yeah, it was one of those things that I'm like, like what I do now, like the people who talk about their relationships all the time, I get really pissed off when they break up and they stop saying stuff. Like, no, 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 you put all this shit out there. I need to know why this shit got fucked up and what had
I was in
happened.
your relationship this whole time. Now I
Yeah.
need to know about the breakup.
I've been sitting here paying attention to this shit this whole time. When this shit went sour, which I knew it would, I need to know why it went sour. I need to know what this motherfucker did to you, sis. Like,
Was it what I'm guessing? Because I'm pretty sure it was this.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was gonna go this way. But like, yeah, so after those mistakes, I don't really put very much of anything. I don't really talk very much personal stuff. Like, sometimes I talk shit about like work stuff, but mostly it's like me sharing shit and like happy birthdays on Facebook. But I pretty much live on Facebook these days. Like, I live there. I don't do Twitter as much as I used to because Twitter is just the signal to noise ratio. The signal to noise ratio on Twitter is out of control. And one thing that I did that I regret now. This is what I did. When I fell apart after my separation, I would go to Twitter, but I wouldn't really do anything, especially once I did a little bit too much. Because I wasn't in my right mind. That shit really fucked me up. So I wasn't in my right mind. So like there was a lot of people who sent me friend requests just so they could kind of keep up with how bad I'm falling apart. And I ended up accepting all of those friend requests, but I stopped saying anything. So like when I go back to Twitter, I see all of those people that I accepted, and it's just like I don't even know who half of you are. I just accepted the friend request because I accepted it, and because I wasn't in my right mind when I accepted it. Now I have like I can't see past most of the bullshit that y'all going through, or that y'all talking about, or like, what I mean, like motherfuckers going off about the vaccine and shit, and it's just like, dog, I don't really fucking care about this. I got mine. I'm not trying to force you to get yours. Let this shit be what it is. Like, I'm not one of those people that's be like, y'all need to get vaccinated. I'm just kind of like, yo, you do what you got to do for you. I'm gonna keep doing what I do for me. I'm gonna keep this fucking mask on, even though I've been fucking vaccinated since April. Like I need y'all to, I need y'all motherfuckers to comply so that we can get past this shit.
Yeah, Limp Bizkit getting canceled as shit. Come on, fucking with Fred Durst.
And Bisk, I don't talk shit about Fred Durst.
No, they had this new tour because they had like a comeback thing, and now all of a sudden they're like relevant again, like in sort of an ironic way, and like Fred Durst was like leaning all the way in that shit, like and now their whole tour got canceled because of someone got COVID.
Yeah. But you know what? That's not a tour I would want to go to. But if someone had video of the tour, I would totally be down for that.
I'll watch it on Amazon.
Yeah. I watch the shit. Like I'll pull it up on YouTube or some shit like that.
Did you see him at Lollapalooza? Like his new like look?
No, I'm gonna say this. I'm $3 bill, y'all, until the initial part of Chocolate Starfish. Everything after Chocolate Starfish is not my jam. It's not something that I fuck with. It's like whatever happened after Chocolate Starfish, that's not my jam. That was my ex-wife's jam. She loved Chocolate Starfish. What the fuck?
What?
Yeah, I think I saw that one.
Is he wearing a? What is? What?
He looks like.
Yeah,
He looks like. It looks like drugged out George Washington.
Yeah.
He looks like one of the Beastie Boys when they used to do all that makeup and wigs and stuff.
He looks like he was from the Sabotage video.
Yeah.
Sabotage. There you go. What in the?
Um,
I mean,
that is currently the front runner for
surprising.
the show. That's the front runner for the show title. I just want to say that. Drugged out George Washington.
Okay. Oh, there it was. The last I knew of Limp Bizkit was early 2000s, late 90s, whenever Chocolate Starfish was out. I think that's the last I heard of them, because I haven't tried to seek them out.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll hear them on the radio, and that's cool. But
yeah. My ex-wife was like totally into Chocolate Starfish. I thought it was okay. I just couldn't really. I didn't really get down.
I like that song where he uses the F word a lot.
Is that all of them?
Yeah, he does. Shit. How is cursing on this show? Do I have to censor?
You say whatever the fuck you want to. We good.
All right, where he says "fuck" how many times this motherfucking song? Oh, God, what is?
I'm trying to think of the song that you're talking about.
I think I like their first album, like whatever that name of that one was.
$3 bill, y'all.
$3 bill, y'all.
Yeah.
Chiller and You? No.
I think $3 bill was cool, but it was kind of raw. It's kind of like something that Chase would be into. Chase would be into $3 bill, y'all, because of how raw it is, and it doesn't sound like overly produced or whatever. Significant Other is like the apex. Like that's what they had.
Had the guy from Korn. Like they did a song where they went back and forth. The guy
That's
from Korn.
on a Korn album, not a Limp Bizkit album. That's Follow the Lead, a song off of Follow the Leader.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought it was on a Limp Bizkit one.
Break Stuff?
Break Stuff.
Yeah, I like
Motherfucking chainsaw.
Everything is fucked. Everybody sucks.
Yeah, that's Break Stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, I like that song a lot. I want to give me something to break.
I saw a meme there was
that
like,
was my song for a while.
but yeah, man.
You said I saw a meme and then you just stopped.
Yeah, because I was like, well, that's probably dumb. But
Probably.
well, anyway, I guess I'll go ahead and say it. You know the meme with the what's his face from Titanic, and he's like, you know, with his or whatever. But
holding a little martini glass or whatever, where he's like making that face.
Yeah, he had the backwards Fred Durst hat, and someone said like, y'all pretending like you actually listen to Limp Bizkit, and it had that like and there's like me with Eddie was holding the chainsaw. So, but
I think that meme is Leo, but that's not from.
Yeah, that's the Titanic is the first thing I thought of to try to.
Yeah, that's
think of his name.
The meme is from Django though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which, that's crazy.
His name is Leonardo DiCaprio. Come on.
Leo.
How can you disrespect my childhood heartthrob like this?
His mama named him Leo. I'm gonna call him Leo.
Leonardo
Lion.
DiCaprio.
Leonardo, one of the Ninja Turtles, like Chase's shirt.
Yeah, that's Leonardo the Turtle, I guess.
All right, so y'all ready?
Yeah, man.
I mean, we've been talking, so it's just kind of a rolling start. What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Scarfinger. This is Scarcasm. We're back with August, and we have two guests today. Matt's back.
Hey,
what's up, man? And for longtime listeners, you know the voice. If you watched the YouTube video after the fact, you probably remember the face. Get off my planet. Rachel is in the building, son.
Hey, what's up? Wait, this is going to be on video too? Like people are going to watch this?
It's streaming live right now on Twitch.
It's streaming live on Twitch, and like no one actually watches the YouTube video, so you're okay. No one watches this shit. You're fine. Most people listen to it. Most people listen to it from the podcast feed, and they don't get no video from that.
Yeah. Okay.
Blue might tune in.
Yeah. No, I don't. I'm not going to tune in.
I said Blue might tune in.
Yeah, Blue might tune in. Yeah, absolutely. Blue will pop in and say hello, and then don't say shit else. Like you did last week. You did that shit last week. But then again, because of your Reddit shenanigans, we got off on such a tangent last week that like Blue was kind of like, "Oh, y'all motherfuckers crazy." I still say, and I titled the last episode "Lysol Everything" because that's how I feel about that situation still.
My still is I'd rather buy my own computer than take a computer from a pedo. So.
From a where?
From a pedophile. Well, the thing was that the person inherited the computer. They were like, "What do I do?" And they didn't really say anything about it. It just had a fucked up monitor. And then later in the comments, they come out that they inherited it and the monitor's fucked up. What I do because it was pedophilia on the hard drive, and the guy offed himself. So he inherited it from a suicide victim that was also a pedophile. And I was like, I don't even fucking want it. I'll buy my own computer.
I'm like, switch out that hard drive, Lysol everything, and you good.
But truthfully, if it's in this climate,
hard drive. But I mean, computers cost a lot of money. You don't need. I mean, it's not like it's a physical touch on the computer, and it's not like the pedophilia spread to the rest of the computer. It's on the hard drive. That's it.
No, though. But if he offed himself and like he put his life into that computer, who knows? Like some weird like shocker shit might come up, and he like put his soul into that computer.
Now you're going to like Ghost in the Shell shit.
So like he's living in that computer, and you're going to be haunted for the rest of your life.
You said shocker shit. How terrible was that fucking movie, dog? That movie was so terrible that you couldn't help but like it.
I know.
It was so
I saw it in
horrible.
the theater.
Holy shit. That had to be the most horrible experience ever. Have you ever seen Shocker, Chase?
Shocker?
Yes.
It sounds familiar, but I probably have.
Like this?
Okay, so a dude. Okay, so a dude who gets sent to the electric chair comes back as a.
Oh yeah, the cover is that guy's like on the cover.
He comes back to haunt the person who turned him in.
Oh.
And the person who turned him in was Peter Berg.
Okay, that wasn't the movie that I saw where the ghost went into the machine. It's called Ghost in the Machine, and like no one has ever fucking heard of this movie. It's a serial killer who dies and then somehow gets sucked into like the dishwasher or something, and then he hops from machine to machine and terrorizes.
I remember that movie.
Yeah. Okay, I'm not crazy.
I've heard the name before, but I ain't never seen no shit about nobody being in a dishwasher. That's some shit that I'm like.
It was one of those random blockbuster picks.
Ghost in the Machine as a name sounds a lot cooler than Ghost in a Dishwasher. It's just like Ghost in the Machine. That sounds awesome. And you realize, oh, it's an actual ghost in a washing machine.
Yeah, fuck that. But you know what was a good movie that's on some crazy criminal hops in and out of stuff? Fallen. Is that the name of it? Fallen.
Isn't that the dude?
Is that the one where he's like singing?
Yeah, where he sings. What's the song? Oh shit, that's gonna.
I thought that's the one where the dude he's like at McDonald's and starts like killing people because the society's fucked him over.
No, that's Falling Down.
Oh, okay.
That's Falling Down. Fallen. It stars Denzel, and then there was this guy who was like crazy.
John Goodman. Is it?
Yeah, and then what's the song? I don't want to look it up, but there's shit. It's right on the tip. It's right there.
I'm like right like this.
It's right there. I can't think of it. It's right there, and I can't think of it. But yeah, that was a good ass movie. That was one of the first DVDs I've owned.
Wow. When did that come out?
98.
Oh,
I just looked it up.
I was someone was watching Twister, and
I saw that in theaters.
I looked it up because I was like just wanting to just look at all the
time is on my side.
And then
Yep.
I read that Twister was actually the first movie to be pressed on DVD, released on DVD.
But I'm black, so like the first DVD, every black person my age, we all have the same first DVD. You want to know what that is? It should be like I'll let y'all guess. What every black person's first DVD? What is it? Is like the most obvious fucking movie, but like it may not be obvious until someone says it. Like I'll let you all pick one movie. Every black person's first DVD.
Well, that's not fair. We're all very white.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. That's what makes this better.
I'm gonna guess Princess Purple Rain.
I'm gonna guess Belly.
Okay. What you got?
Okay. Jeez. Boys in the Hood.
Close. It's Friday. Every black person's first DVD was fucking Friday. We all had fucking Friday on DVD for some reason. Like when DVDs first really like hit, and like we all had fucking PS2s back then because that's most people my age's first DVD player was a PS2. Like we like
was it the same
Friday,
cardboard case that I have, like that kind of clips open and opens like that.
Yes, it's the same. All of our first DVDs was Friday. And so, like, yeah, I remember DVDs being so fucking magical. Now, every time I put on a DVD, because I don't have very many Blu-rays, because I don't really carry a lot of discs. But for a while, I didn't have internet here when I first moved in for like a few weeks. So I had to go back to my DVDs, and I was watching the episodes of Oz because I'm on Return to Oswald with Rashani and Brandon. I was watching those because I had the DVDs, and DVDs are such a pain in the fucking ass. Like, holy fuck, are DVDs a pain in the ass? Like, you got to go through fucking like credits and like fucking like movie trailers before you get to your fucking movie. It's like, dog, I'm not in the theater. Yeah, the main menu. You
can't always skip those stupid previews. Sometimes some of them will let you. I have a couple that have let me, but not all of them. Definitely not the Disney ones.
Yeah, the old ones, like the first generation DVDs, like you had to sit there and watch that stuff.
And then that FBI warning about don't steal movies. It's just as bad as stealing a car.
Right. And then, but like someone told me that if you like later on, this was like later on in the DVD world, if you press stop, then play, it would take you straight to where you needed to go.
Huh. It's like the Konami code.
Yeah, basically. But yeah,
those FBI warnings. There was one that was like, piracy is not a victimless crime. And I was like, so the victim is like corporations, like giant fucking, like really the richest people alive.
Here's the funniest thing, right? Here's the funniest thing. Like, when you think about how you felt about that at the time, like even if you listen to them, right?
Yeah.
Who benefits the most from something like this? Harvey Weinstein. Now think about how you feel about him now.
You're like, I stole a Miramax movie. Man, I shouldn't be doing this to Harvey. And then later on, you're like, I did this to Harvey. Fuck yeah.
Fuck yeah, man. I stuck it to the man. Fuck out of here. Okay, so
about 6 of those DVD binders, those ones that zip closed, like that. I've got like 6 of those that are full of like blank DVDs that I ripped. I used to get, before Netflix became streaming, like I would get the 3 DVDs in the mail, and then I would rip them using my computer and then burn them onto a blank disc, and then put them in, I'd label them and then put them in my little binder thing. And I did that for like 6 DVD binders full of them, and there's like each one holds like 100 discs or something like that, or maybe even more. And I was doing that.
And
like
that's a more
turnaround.
untraceable way to pirate than like downloading from like a torrent site.
I used to get hit from the torrent sites. I had to like download some shit and then like quickly put it on the external. And like I only watched it like through my external on my 360, because like if I had it on my computer, my ISP at the time would be like, "We know you downloaded this. We searched it. They would shut my internet down when they think I downloaded something. They would shut my internet down. It was like, we know you downloaded this shit. We can't find it right now. So I guess we will turn it back on because we can't find it, but we know you downloaded this.
We know you did this.
I think it's funny, like the same thing as a VPN saying this is for internet privacy and protection is the same thing as a bomb saying this is for tobacco use.
Right.
It's a water pipe. Thank you. Water pipe. And blown glass for flavored tobacco. They kick you out of the head shop if you said anything different.
It's for display purposes only.
Craft art.
It's glass art. It's glass art. That's what it is. Yeah, my vape shop, they have like the vape shop that I go to normally. They have like one side is all like the vape stuff. The other side is all like fucking everything else. Like it's fucking.
Well, those are the ones that survive. The ones that are like completely just vape.
They're
either gone or and also the tobacco shops that just stay just tobacco and then do vape. They're also gone. It's like the hybrid ones are the ones that stay.
Yeah, they had like they tried to sell me this shit and it smelled just smelled just like weed, but it was basically like CBD buds that you had to like grind up yourself. You had to grind up yourself and all this kind of stuff. It looked just like weed buds and it smelled just like weed buds. But they were like, you grind this up yourself and then you can put it in a pipe or you can roll it up and all this other stuff. And I'm just kind of like, man, it's too much fucking work. Like, that's way too much fucking work.
This is a lot of work for not weed.
Yeah, for real. Like, it's a lot of work for diet weed. Like, get the fuck out of here with this shit. So I'm like, you know what, motherfucker, just give me those gummies and I'll be on my fucking way.
They have that flower stuff at the liquor store I used to work at. They do, and they sell it for like $50. This tiny little thing. I'm like, you may as well just go buy real shit for that amount, and you'd get more. And it would actually get you high. Don't waste your money.
Since they decriminalized weed here, it's been weird. See, here's the problem. Here's the problem with them decriminalizing weed. You can have it, but you can't smoke it in public right now.
Mm-hmm. I think that's how it's in California.
You can have up to an ounce. You can have up to an ounce, and you good. And even if you grow it, it's like 4 plants per adult or some shit like that. You can grow it at home and all that kind of stuff. Just don't take that shit outside. I'm trying to be like New York. In New York, they changed the rules. So you can smoke weed anywhere, you can smoke cigarettes.
It's like that in California now, too. It's weird. I remember when I went to go visit a couple years ago, I'm walking around, I'm like, why does it smell like weed all over the place? I'm like, oh yeah, they just made it legal. They just made it legal for recreation, so everyone's smoking on their porch.
Right. So it's, personally, I haven't smoked weed since high school. I graduated high school a long time ago.
I haven't smoked weed since, what time is it?
I can't say anything of that nature. I haven't smoked any real weed. I have had some diet weed. I bought some pre-rolled CBD J's for my ex. I had a little bit of that. It didn't really do nothing for me other than it smells like it.
Well, it's only supposed to like have health benefits, not
That's why I said just give me the gummies. I got some gummies back there, that I've had for a long time because I'm like, it just makes me sleepy. Like, you know me, like I'm an old man now. Like this shit just makes me sleepy. Like I'm like, you know what? I can go for a nap. Like that's how I feel when I'm on them gummies. And like,
well, there's a type I can never remember, but like indica is like your standard like stoner weed, right? And then there's another one.
Sativa is the go to sleep weed.
Okay, that's what I was trying. Because for some reason I was thinking that word, but then for some reason I was like, that sounds like something you would put in tea. Is that like an artificial sweetener?
Like stevia.
Yeah, it sounds like stevia.
You can smoke some sativa and like go build a house or a deck or something. You're like that stuff makes me like anxious and crazy.
Yeah, it affects people. They said it affects people different ways. Yeah. Just like alcohol, weed makes me goofy, like goofy as fuck. Like I mean, the first time I got like really high.
But this was like in '99 too, right?
Yeah, I mean,
like a million years ago.
No, this is like a million years ago. I think this is about 96, 97. The first time I got
you just blazed up. You're like, oh shit, why do gay motherfucker?
I was at a friend's house, and the only reason why they let me smoke the weed is because I was the one who could go buy the blunts. Because my stepmom is lazy, so. She used to send me. Okay, I've told the story many, many times, but I'll tell the story again. A bunch of little kids. Well, so here's what had happened. So my stepmom is lazy, and she used to send me to the store to buy her cigarettes a lot. So what she would do is she would give me the money. She would call up to the store. Everybody was cool, and so I would go in, buy the cigarettes, bring them back to her. And then it got to the point to where she didn't have to call anymore because they knew me. So I would walk in the store, give them some money, they give me cigarettes, I go on about my business. One old dude got pissed off at me because they carded him. They carded him after me. Yeah, here you go, kid. Dude, I need to see your fucking ID. But that totally happened. But what happened was one day I'm on the way back from the basketball court. Me and my best friend at the time. So we walking back from the basketball court. My stepmom is sitting on the porch, and she says, "I'll go buy me some cigarettes." I'm like, "All right, cool." So we walk up to the corner store, buy the cigarettes, and he's like, "Yo, you can buy cigarettes?" Yeah, I never thought anything of it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's always been like, you know, something I've been doing since I was in like 4th, 5th grade. Like, you know what I mean? So the thought never crossed my mind that I could buy cigarettes. So they were like, yo, I need you to buy me some cigarettes. And I'm like, I guess. And like, you know what I mean? So you're like,
I was buying cigarettes. I didn't realize I was buying cigarettes.
Exactly. So like,
you're doing it for your stepmom.
Yeah, so they were doing all of this. So they would get money together, scrape together some money, and have me go buy some cigarettes. Surprisingly, cigarettes were like $1 and some change at the time. Like, holy fuck! Have you seen cigarette prices now? I seen someone post a thing that said a pack of Newports. I don't know where this was. A pack of Newports is like $8 in some places. Like, shit's fucked up.
Well, that's because they're contraband now.
And Newports are like one of the more expensive ones. On the East Coast, I was hearing like Marlboro was like around over 10.
Yeah, like New York and stuff like that. Like I was hearing this was like 10 years ago, and like a guy was telling me that like a pack of like Camels, like Turkish Gold, was like $12 in New York City. I was like, damn.
Look, that's why I got this right here. I don't need nothing else. Just give me this old vape. Even though they fucked up the prices of vape too, motherfuckers. They fucked up the prices, and the shit's hard to get, and people done went out of business and shit. Some of the stuff that I really loved, I can't get no more.
I miss the disposables. The flavors were more pronounced, but I don't work there anymore, so I don't get them all the time, and I don't like the person who works there, so I don't go in. And they're like $20 basically a pop, and they last like 2 days.
Right. That's the reason why I got off of disposables. I had some disposables, and like I think because I pretty much chain vape, like I was just blowing those things, the battery on those fucking things out way too fast, and was like, I know there's still something in here. but I can't fucking charge. I can't charge this thing. So like,
you heard they have
Car
rechargeable
battery.
ones now?
yes, they do. They do, and I've been out that game for a long time. I upgraded. I'm good with this.
Yeah, they
even
got
though-
those right before I left Sadie's.
And let me tell you something. A few weeks ago, I broke my bubble glass.
Oh.
I broke my bubble glass, and now I got this straight glass that I keep having to fill this thing over and over and over again, and it's fucking annoying. But
I know what you mean, but that does sound like very personal. I broke my bubble glass. You know?
yeah. But see, here's the thing. Because they rose the prices on everything, and now shipping is out of fucking control.
And there's no guarantee it's going to get there in any reasonable time frame.
Right. So I went online to try to buy me a glass. And I found a place that I've ordered from before. I'm not gonna shout them out because fuck those places. Because I've ordered things from them before. I ordered my Revenger from them. And the bubble glass, $5.
Okay.
Shipping
40.
is $8.
But still.
Plus another $6 for the adult signature required fee. So something that cost me $5. I'm paying $14 for it to fucking get to me.
Convenience fees.
Yeah, this is some bullshit. I'm paying $14 for something that costs $5. Like, why does the shipping and everything cost way more than the thing that I'm trying to buy? I can see I might as well just buy another fucking tank at that price. But then the shipping is probably gonna be more than that too.
Yeah, they're like, oh, well, there's 2 in here. We got to double your shipping.
Yeah, dirty bastards. Like that shit suck. So I'm stuck with this straight glass for a while because ain't nobody locally got the glass for this. So I'm just kind of screwed.
What kind of tank are you using?
I'm using I think it's a Vupu T2. It's the tank that comes with the drag too.
I quit, man.
But I use Freemax coils in this because I can use Freemax coils in here.
Oh, okay. I'm using the Freemax or like whatever the tank is. It's got the bubble.
Yeah, the twister.
Yeah, and it's got the Freemax TX2 mesh coil.
That's the one I used before.
I sold somebody broke my twister, the battery part. I sold my twister tank once I realized I could use the same coils in here. And now I'm like, I should buy another fucking twister.
Yeah, I had that mag too, and I love that thing.
The actual mod I'm using is a Plexar. It's kind of faded because I've been using it for so long. But
we've been using ours for the same length of time.
But it's got the removable battery. And you just put it on a charger.
Okay.
Is that a separate charger?
Is that the Mesh Pro on top of yours, Rachel?
Yeah.
We have the same. I don't know.
You both have twisters, or is yours a Mesh Pro?
It's the tank. I think I forgot what the tank's called.
Because I got a Mesh Pro. I got a Mesh Pro, and it looked just like that.
This?
Okay. Yeah. Word up.
Yeah, I
like how we're doing all this visual stuff on a podcast.
Yeah.
But that's why I'm saying the names.
But and also it's also a visual podcast, so if people want to see the other, like the third dimension of the podcast, they can tune in. No?
Oh. Then we gotta go put on makeup. No, I'm already wearing makeup. I'm just kidding.
But yeah, I in February I got COVID, and then so I was like 2 weeks without vaping because I was like mostly sleeping, and then once I kind of like got better, I was like, I really don't crave this shit. And then I was like, well, that's one less thing I have to carry around in my pockets and shit. So I just kind of quit. Like I didn't have to go through any withdrawals or whatnot because I did
COVID?
that. Yeah, I did that while I was sick.
Oh man, you had COVID? You're better? I guess. I mean, you're here.
That was February, and I mean it was a rough 2 weeks, but yeah.
Well, hey,
we had a scare.
glad you're still around.
Thank you.
Yeah, we were scared, bruh. Like that shit was real fucked up to us. Like we were just kind of like, yo, is Chase gonna be alright? Like I don't know if I really want to do this without Chase, because Chase does all of the stuff. I just show up to talk.
That's part of podcasting, honestly. Showing up to talk.
Well, I like the networking and like the planning and thinking of new things to do, as long as it like works out. Like August has always worked out really well. I just really hate putting all this work into something and then like nobody shows up or whatever. That's why I don't stream, because like, well, the only reason I would ever stream is because we had a game night and I want to archive it to be in video form for me to watch later.
Yeah.
But
I would totally stream if I had the setup for it. I just don't have the setup for it. Like I wish I did.
Sam's doing pretty good. It seems he had a tweet that said he was like so close to his first Twitch payout on a tweet. And I was like, huh, that's pretty cool.
Up. That's dope. Fucking Sam, man. I would love to do it, but there's two reasons why I wouldn't do it. One, I don't have the setup for it. Two, well, technically three things. I don't have the patience to set everything up. I would just call Chase and be like, Chase, can you set all this shit up for me where I can just press a button and start and then press a button and stop?
And what's cool about the podcast is I can be myself. Like, if you're going to be a successful streamer, you have to be a fake motherfucker, because you got to act and be.
Nah, fuck that shit. I
know. Yeah, that's why. But that's why I'm not a successful streamer, because being ourselves is boring. To be like a streamer, you have to like
being
stupid.
Yourself is boring. Being yourself is boring, sir. Being me is fucking dope. What are you talking about? Like what are we talking about?
It's boring. It's boring to like 22-year-olds who want to see Dr. Disrespect.
I've never seen Dr. Disrespect, so I couldn't.
Because we're fucking adults. That's why.
What?
Yeah, I've watched.
It's a streamer or whatever.
He's one of the big uns, But see, here's the thing. So I'm still in my addiction where I'm still watching this chick play Mass Effect 3 badly. But I caught up. So like now I have to wait like every day for her to release a piece of this, and it fucking sucks. Like, you get onto something and you really like watching it, and it's just this long series of videos because like you ain't got shit else to do. Like, I could actually be playing the game myself, let's be honest, because I'm still at the beginning of the game, playing myself. But I just came across this lady and she plays the game badly, and like I am wholeheartedly a fan of watching her play this game badly. So like, and then like today's episode was she cured the genophage, and let me tell you what happened with Morton. She fucking burst out into tears, like loud ass. Totally did that. And I'm like, yo, I can't tell if this is fake or not, but this is riveting fucking television. Like, I can't stop watching this shit. Like having her like fucking fall to pieces when someone dies, and it's just like, yeah, but they were supposed to die. Like, I know you don't know that, but they were gonna die anyway. So like, like that type of shit. But like, I hate the fact that I have to wait every day to wait for like an hour or two video. But I still watch them shits, and it's great. I probably should actually play the game myself. That's probably something I should do. But I'm like, I'm team fuck that. Like,
but
I want to watch.
You have to play it because you're watching someone play it wrong. It has to be you, Scar, or else someone would get it wrong.
See what you did there. See what you did there. Happened. You know what? I'm gonna tell you this. When I watched it, I almost got teary too. You know, like how when you're in a situation and you're watching someone fucking fall apart, and you start to fall apart too, just because that person seems to be falling apart, and you're just like, holy shit! I'm really about to fucking cry right now. Let me get my shit together. Like let me like squeeze my nuts real fast, like to remind me, like, you know what I mean? Like I'm not in this fantasy world, so let me like like squeeze my nuts real quick and be like, yo, dog, you alright, like for real. But that happened.
I don't have nuts to squeeze.
I mean, you could. I mean,
I'm missing out, I guess.
but you got nuts. They just inside. Like you got to do some. You got to get somebody to give you a hand. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? Give you a hand to go. Boop. That was a visual gag. You gotta have Matt give you a hand.
Are you ever talking about squeezing ovaries? Like, what is we doing here?
Yeah, like I said, you gotta have somebody give you a hand and go, and like, like press them. You can't squeeze them, but you can press them. Like, there might be some
You
things.
can reach that far, but okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know what's
gadget fingers.
You know what's a weird thing that's ever happened to me? Like, this is something very weird that happened. Like when my ex-wife got pregnant with Pooh Bear, right? We had to do, she had to do one of those exams, and I hope this isn't like too embarrassing for her. But like, they sometimes they do the thing where they use the pap smear thing and they kind of open it up. Then the doctor seemed like so excited. It was like, come here, look at this. Like, that's a cervix. Like, okay, and like it was like one of those things to where I'm just kind of like, I don't know what a cervix does for me, but this seems to get you really excited. Like, I don't know what's happening here. It's like that person, the doctor was like really excited. And I just happened to be in the room. It's like, yeah, that's what her cervix looks like. You know what I mean? Like,
was it his first time? He was like, "Holy crap, I did it!"
Oh my god, I did it! I found the cervix.
And like those little fucking like metal clamp things that they use for pap smears and shit like this. These are like the most uncomfortable things ever.
You're telling me.
I am so glad that no one has to do that to my dick hole. Even like a little one to my dick hole would be like it seems like the worst possible thing ever. But this is something that they have to deal with all the time. Don't you got to get one of these like every year?
You're supposed to. Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta get one of these things every year. They stick these big fucking metal fucking duck lip looking things inside of you and split you the fuck open. Like, yo, this shit looks painful.
And they're cold. They're cold.
I can't imagine it being cold. Like and having that happen to my dick hole. Like, yo, that sounds like the most unpleasant thing ever. And that's one of the things why we should appreciate women for all of the unpleasantries. Like, like when my daughter's on her period and she's just kind of like, like, I don't feel good and like I need medicine bad and like I don't like this feeling and I'm just kind of like, I don't understand. Like, I can't understand.
Crappy feeling. Go get her Midol. That stuff's good.
But we do Walmart ibuprofen around here. That shit work on everything. Walmart ibuprofen work great on
but
everything.
You gotta have the cat in it, like there's caffeine in it and stuff, so a little bit more than
store brand Midol, but Midol is, I don't know what magical mixture is in there. It's I've kept one last Midol for years. Just, I don't know why. I should have just taken it. It's just it's probably lost somewhere, but I kept it because that shit was expensive, and it's good. And now I'm gonna get off this podcast and go find it.
I asked, what is that shit called? That's like it's like the little pink pill, and it's like a female laxative, and it was called Correctol or some shit like that.
Isn't all laxative like gender fluid? Like it goes for
no. This one like I don't know what it's called. Here's the thing.
I just realized that saying gender fluid and laxative is kind of because it's gonna make fluid out of poop.
Here's the thing. Yes, it's called Correctol. Now here's the thing about Correctol.
My Google search is gonna be ridiculous tomorrow.
Separate from everything else. Right though, it kind of looks like a tropical Skittle. Now that should explain the folly that I'm about to explain to you right now. I saw a Correctol just kind of laying around. And I thought that somebody made a misplaced or like a tropical Skittle must have like fell because the tropical Skittle's got a pink one in there. So I'm like, somebody dropped a tropical Skittle, like it's about to be a good day for your boy. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so I popped that in my mouth and I start chewing and I'm like, this isn't chewy. This isn't chewy. This does not taste like a Skittle. But I ain't no fucking quitter, right? Like, you know what I mean? I ain't no fucking quitter. So I swallowed that bitch anyway. Instead of spitting it the fuck out when I realized it wasn't a Skittle. Like I was young, so maybe I thought it was a bad Skittle. You know what I mean? Like maybe this is a bad one. Maybe once I get to the middle, like I might get some, some Skittle flavor out this joint. But like instead of spitting it out, yeah, I went for it. I chewed and then I was just like, fuck it, I'm just gonna swallow this. So I swallowed it. And what happened after? It's what happens with laxatives. Like, I mean, I don't have to explain that to anyone, but it was a bad day for your boy.
It was not a good tropical Skittle day.
I had almost the same thing happen to me when I was a kid, but it was on the car floor in the back seat of my parents' car, and I found some kind of pill, and I thought it was candy, and so I started chewing it, and it was disgusting. Like, I was chewing it up, and then I was like, oh my God. And then, like, we were getting out of the car and going into a house to look at a house that we were going to possibly buy. So we had to do a tour around the house. And the entire time I was walking around the house and my mouth was filling up with like saliva because it was like this disgusting taste in my mouth. And then I eventually had to run out of the house and then I ended up throwing up all over the yard. And it was like, I was like, why did I do that? Why did I just pick up some random pill and just start chewing on it?
Mama ain't raised no quitter. Like, I'm sorry, Mama ain't raised no quitter. Like,
did you ever figure out what that was?
No.
I mean, it could have been like an OxyContin or some shit.
Yeah, how'd you feel? Other than throwing up.
If it was Oxy, he would be like,
feeling good. Okay,
I feel like seize the day.
He's like, holy shit!
After this nap,
these must be the real magical Skittles.
Real magical Skittles. Why do your pupils look like that?
Because I tasted the rainbow, motherfucker.
Feeling great. Feeling good.
I've not picked up random pills on the ground and eaten them. I'm not like you guys.
Oh, last week, Scar, you were talking about your car and shit, and then I had something to say about my car, but since you had been talking for a while, I wanted the guests to talk, and then I just never brought it up. But yeah, my car stranded me in the middle of Raleigh, like on Highway 40, which is basically like getting stranded on 95, but worse. But I had someone come up and pick up my client that worked with me, and then I waited for my mom to come pick me up, and we had to tow the place to the dealership, which I've actually never had anything done to my car at the dealership. So I'm like, fuck that, it's expensive. But
dealerships are overpriced.
Yeah, but it was cheaper to tow it there because it was like their towing thing than it would be to get a towing. So I ended up doing that. But at first, because what happened, I was going along and it was like revving and stopping, and all my dials were going like this. Every fucking light, it was like Christmas. Like I was living a rave in the car. Actually, it felt like there was a ghost in the car. And the car was haunted. And I was like, that sounds like the fucking alternator, because the alternator is a ghost. But and then they said it's not the alternator, that it was the cable that connected the battery. They fixed that. And then when I got it back, it didn't strand me, but I noticed because the first time it happened, my power steering went out, and that happened again afterwards. And then they said, oh, actually it is your alternator as well. But the first thing they fixed did need to get fixed, so then I had two things, so that's probably like $600. and then that next Monday, I had the worst anxiety attack I've ever had. I didn't even know what it was because I normally would think that an anxiety attack for me is like intense butterflies in your stomach, because I never knew what that was, and then when you grow up you figure out, oh, that's anxiety. But this time it was like a weird, like, I woke up, it felt like I was waking up in 96, and like it was like a weird, like, longing, nostalgic feeling, and I could never shake that and then I would get these things to where I would just have to like stop everything, and my dude was just like, everything all right? I was just fucking give me a minute. And then, so I've never had anything like that in my life, and I just chalked it up to anxiety. So, but it was probably just a really bad one. I don't know, but I didn't think it was like, the car shit. I mean, that's normal shit. So I never know why I'm having anxiety, because I'm like, what's making you anxious? I don't know. Everything's normal.
Our brains do that shit.
Yeah.
It happens to me at the worst possible times, because I mean, we all have our issues. Some of ours are more than others, but like sometimes when it happens to me, I'm like, thank goodness I was at home by myself. Like, like when I talked about like having like anxiety in my self-destructive behavior a couple of months ago. Like, I mean, like, I was really in some shit, and I like intentionally hurt myself. I had full idea of what I was doing, but I was intentionally hurting myself because of how I was feeling about, like, like the breakup and all that other stuff. Like, I was really fucking myself up, and it's just like, I can't stop me. I completely understand what I'm doing right now, and
that's
why
when you were like
be
eating all the cookies and stuff. Right.
Yeah, like I 100% understood exactly what I was doing, but I couldn't stop myself. But most of the time, I'm by myself. So if I decide to do some self-destructive behavior, no one is around to see it. No one's around to hear it. I'm perfectly fine, and I don't have to say anything to anyone, because
nobody's around to like try to be there for you too,
and be there for you.
I'm one of those type of people that I'm like, really,
I just want to self-destruct all by myself, damn it.
Yeah, and then like I put my I'm one of those people that I'll like be like, hold on, dog, like, you tripping. Let's get through this. Like, I can wrangle myself, but like, I'll do something stupid first. And then I'll wrangle myself and be like, okay, you really tripping right now, dog. Like, we need to do something about this. And then that's when, like, I remember everything that I talk about with my therapist and all of that kind of stuff. Like, all of that stuff. Like, having her around makes me aware of when some of this shit happens. And like, sometimes I won't do stuff because when I tell her about what happened, like when I told her about my self-destructive behavior a few months ago, that look on her face, that shit just made me. I was so ashamed. It was like just like it's like a disapproving parent, because I've been talking to her since my separation, basically. So like I've talked to her, and we've talked to each other for years. So like that look on her face of like disappointment, and she was like, I need you to not do that. And I was like, you know what, you're right. And like sometimes if I feel myself sliding, I can remember that face and how that face made me feel when I told her what happened, and she was just kind of like,
you can avoid that face by not telling her.
I know, but I feel like she's one of those people that
therapy correctly.
she's one of those people that I feel like I need to tell everything. Like I told her some stuff that I've told no one. Like no one. I love it. I love it because like, talking to someone that's disconnected from your nouns is like the best. And like the fact that like we do it over the internet now because she moved to Georgia, it makes it better.
Because she's even further away.
Yeah, she's even further away, but I still feel that same judgment. like, I need you to be better than this. Like, you know what, you're right.
That's good that you have that though. Like if you've had somebody that's like been there for a long time through like a lot of stuff that you've been through and you have that connection with them, they kind of know your past. They know everything you've told them. I've been through so many therapists in the past 15 years that like nobody knows me. I was like going to one for like maybe a year at the most. And then I would switch doctors and then I have to tell them all the same stuff. But for me, it was like I was telling them all different stuff because I couldn't keep in control of what was real and what wasn't real. So like when you're like having such a dynamic of like, I thought this was real, so I'm telling them this, and then they're like end up prescribing you all kinds of meds and stuff, and that stuff ends up screwing you up even worse. So
I was this
bad.
close to meds. I was this close. I was there to get my consultation about meds, but the problem that I had was the person who was supposed to prescribe me the meds was a different person than the person that I normally talk to.
Mm.
And I did not want to open up to that person. And I was just like, you know what? Fuck this. I'm not getting these because I don't want to open up to you too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was probably some sort of like, you talk to someone different so that they can make sure that you actually need this shit. So they'll just
like the difference between a psychologist and a psychiatrist. Like a psychiatrist is a doctor that can prescribe medication, but like an actual family doctor is a doctor too, and he can prescribe the same meds, but he still has to talk to that psychologist so he gets the reference so that he knows that, okay, according to this person, this is what I need to give him, and go on from there. And
yeah, it was a situation like that, and I was just kind of like, nope, I'm going to fight through this shit on my own because I don't want to talk to anyone else. I'm like, I don't know, it's just weird. And every time I talk to her, I feel so much lighter. I think it's something for me. It's something to the effect of saying how I'm feeling out loud. It's something about saying it out loud uninterrupted, and like being able to say how I feel about everyone is like, they'd be like, well, your significant other will be like, well, talk to me, and I was like, I'm talking about you, like, I can't tell you, like, but no, I don't want to say bitch because but
significant other is not the right person to be your therapist,
right? Or just like to be able to. Yeah, to be able to say everything that you're feeling, like to say everything that you're feeling, like I could tell you part of it. I could tell you the parts that don't have anything to do with you. But like, like sometimes it's not really anything that has something to do with you. It's about my insecurities. And like, what I mean? Like my insecurities about our situation and like not knowing how we are going to go and how that's making me feel. But like, I can't tell you that because if I start saying how I really feel about the situation, like you are going to interject and fuck everything up.
And have their own feelings, and then those feelings are put into the mix, and then it makes a whole new fucking issue.
Right, because and then me trying to be a good person, I'm only a outwardly good person. Inside I'm horrible. Inside I'm horrible. You would not want to know what happens inside of my head, like for real. Like I think about all kinds of weird shit. Like like when like. Okay, I'll give you a small instance of what happens in my head. Like it's like, oh, Rachel's gonna be on the show. Remember that time all of those foot creepy dudes started coming around your Instagram? I'm like that. See, like that's where my brain goes. Like
a wannabe foot fetish model.
Yes, the fucking foot creepies. Those motherfuckers were creepy.
That happened to me.
Fucking creepy.
That happened to me with the Doki Doki streams.
What?
We were streaming Doki Doki Literature Club, which is like a visual novel that's like it's like a horror game too. It's like it's a horror game that's disguised.
Anime games like I like that, like it tells a story, but like you don't like do a lot of interaction. It's kind of like a pick your own adventure game.
Yeah, but this is a horror game that is disguised as a dating simulator.
I mean, is it really disguised? Because dating these days looks like a fucking horror movie. I see the screenshots. It looks fucking ridiculous. I feel bad for single people.
But we were like voicing out all the characters, and like Amber and her friend were voicing the girl characters, and I had like 57 people viewing that thing. And then when I went to other things, there was nobody. They just wanted to like hear the girls like talk like anime girls.
But they didn't try to come after you like what happened with the foot fetish creepies.
What, right.
People would get so mad if
the one dude did stick around. The Arcana dude, he's actually still around in the Discords and stuff.
Yeah, shout out to Arcana.
I fucks with him.
But yeah, that shit was like super creepy, and I saw all of that shit from like the beginning. Like I was like, oh, this is gonna go bad. Like,
talk about old stuff. You were Mr. Porn Encyclopedia.
Yeah, absolutely.
I remember that's all you talked about in your show. The different porns, but you talk about it so matter of fact, like it was like a book you read or just like a regular movie you watched. Oh yeah, that porn where that girl was doing this and that and da da da. It was the dichotomy.
It pissed me off because they never fucking fixed the sink. That motherfucker's broken.
The funniest ones are the ones where the guy is stuck underneath the sink and she takes advantage of the situation. Those are hilarious.
I've heard about it, like opposite, like she is stuck in a window or something.
She's
like they're stuck and
in
then
in a washing machine. That's the weird one. Like, how do you get stuck in a washing machine?
Those are super fucking weird, and I don't understand the kind of people that likes those. Like, I've seen one, and I'm just kind of like, oh, that's weird, but okay. But like, who wants to watch just this? Like, who's like, this is my thing. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
who's the market for that?
Yes, who's the market for I'm stuck in something, let me have my way with this person who is stuck. Like that type of thing. Like, who's the market for that?
Honestly. I mean, feels kind of rapey, but
super. And that's how it comes across a lot of times. It's kind of like, hey, my stepmom got stuck in the washing machine.
What is the stepmom thing too?
Or the stepsister.
Everything is that, and it's like, what? No, they're not. They are not related at all. Even marriage, I know it.
Right.
It does not make sense.
Yeah, there was a.
Oh, and guess what? Wrestling's not real too. So just let you know.
Yes, it is. Those fuckers get hurt for real. I know it is. I mean, I know the storyline is fake, but they really do wrestle.
Shout out to Freddie Prinze Jr., who used to be a writer for WWE.
Really?
Who was in Mass Effect 3.
Freddie Prinze! Man, where is he?
Hey, you know you have a fan behind you.
Yeah, I don't want to stand up. I'm wearing shorty shorts.
Oh.
So. And I don't know if it's going to be loud. What?
So.
Look away. Turn on my fan.
You could turn off your camera real quick.
I don't know how to do that. Oh wait, it's you. Hang on.
There you go. So Matt, what you been into while she's dealing with her fan?
I've been going through a lot, like just dealing like the whole past year and a half. I think I talked to you guys last year and how I was on like a I was like on a journey of like self-awareness and like and self-betterment and progression and like and that was coming after like years of mental health problems. Like, after I retired out of the military, there was like I went through a divorce and there was PTSD and like all kinds of crazy stuff and like, so I was going through a lot of stuff when Rachel first moved here, and we went through a lot of things. I like lost my dad. I lost another brother, my third brother that I lost. So like just dealing with all these different things in the past, like it all kind of came crashing down several years ago. And then so um, about a year and a half ago, I was like, okay, I'm getting off all these medications and I'm going to start a different journey. I'm going to get better. And like part of the problem was that, like you were saying earlier, with like when you're like, when you know you're doing something that's hurting yourself, you're like kind of aware of it, but like you like in your mind, you're like, I'm doing this. Um, and I should step back and I should just wrangle myself in. But like when that becomes like a normal thing, like your normal is to hurt yourself, like you don't see that anymore. So like
Right.
you continue to do the same things. And that's what I was doing when I had my lower back surgery, the first one. I was drinking a lot and I got hooked on painkillers. And the combination, it was like it would really mess me up. And I got used to that. And it was my normal, like there was no shutting it off. There was no like, I still like after I recovered from the surgery, I went to work, but when I got home, I popped pills and I drank, so that was my normal. And then I knew I had to stop. So instead of stopping, I stopped the pain medications after my second surgery, and then I got better there. But then I still continued to drink. And then I'm like, I got to stop drinking. This is the problem. So like I stopped drinking, like out of nowhere. Like this was like 4 years ago, 5 years ago. I like stopped drinking, and I didn't drink for like 3 years. And when I had stopped drinking, a whole series of issues started coming out because for like 15, 20 years, that was my crutch. I drank,
It masked a lot of things that.
Yeah, and that's how I dealt
unmasked.
with my anxiety and depression and all that stuff. So when I stopped drinking, all that came back out. And it like, basically started making the gears turn and everything was going haywire and there was lightning zaps and stuff and it was just
So you
crazy.
pulled off the band-aid and it started bleeding again, basically.
Yeah. So I went to the doctor and I went to therapists and psychiatrists and stuff, and they diagnosed me with all these different things like ADHD and OCD and uh, you know, major anxiety disorder or whatever and all this other stuff. And so they put me on meds for all this stuff. And then that just basically started turning me into a zombie. And like
Isn't that when you got your serotonin syndrome?
that came a little later because I switched doctors and they prescribed another medication on top of ones that I had before. And then that caused serotonin syndrome. And I was sick for like a week straight and just couldn't get off the couch.
What is
And like
serotonin syndrome?
It's some
serotonin
shit.
syndrome, it is you don't want it. It is the worst kind of serotonin and dopamine. And those are the things that are in your brain that cause you to feel certain ways or to react to things different ways. Basically when you're depressed, you don't get enough serotonin in your brain. That's depression. So the lack of serotonin is when they give you prescription medications that boost your serotonin levels, then it's supposed to stabilize you. Well, this didn't because I had 2 of these kind of medications that were basically pushing more serotonin in my brain than I could handle. And so it was making me feel like I was dizzy, I was sick feeling, like it was just horrible. Like don't recommend it. But like after all these things that I dealt with, like I was like, okay, I need to stop these meds. And the only thing I could do to think of, and this was a year and a half ago, it was the January before last, was to start weaning down off the meds. I actually got a new doctor. I started going to the VA because I'm a veteran, and then I get free healthcare through them. And I told them what I wanted to do. When I first went in there, I was a train wreck. Like I was shaking. I just couldn't fill out paperwork or do anything. And I told them, I'm like, I'm on all these medications from my previous doctors and psychologists and therapy and all this stuff. And they're like, and I said, I don't want to be on any of them anymore. And they're like, okay, but I want to go about it the safe way, because if I just stop cold turkey, I'm going to go through withdrawals and go down a road I don't want to go down, and it's going to be terrible. So they're like, okay, this is what we'll do. We'll start weaning you off. So over the course of about 6 months, I ended up getting off of like 2 of my meds. I was on like 6 at the time, and it was crazy. So I ended up getting off 2, and I started feeling better. And then the anxiety and stuff like that, like, because like with Chase, you were saying earlier about that feeling that you had with the, dealing with the car stuff, and then like you just need a few minutes to sit back and kind of think of what's going on. Like that started to kind of diminish, because I had that like all the time. Like Rachel
It
could
felt
say
like a
something to
laser
me.
was like going through my head. Yeah.
Yeah. Like coming off of the meds, like if you stop taking them, you get these brain zaps, because the neural pathways in your brain, the what do you call them? The I can't think of what the receptors in your brain are firing electrical current through your brain. So when you're not getting the right dosage of the medication or serotonin or dopamine, it causes them to like misfire. So technically, it's like a car when you can't turn it on and it's misfiring. Like that's going on in your head. So I was having that like all the time. So I got off the meds, and then I started drinking again. Actually, I introduced drinking like every other night to offset the weaning off the medications. Like I didn't want anxiety and all that stuff to come back. And I knew that in the past, that's how I dealt with it for like 20 plus years. I just drank and I had no anxiety at all. I felt fine. But that was, like a false thing in my head that I just believed.
So the alcohol was fighting the withdrawal.
So I used that for like another 6 months. I started getting a little bad towards like probably the last time we were on the show, like last August. I was drinking, and I was already off about 4 medications at that point. And I realized I'm starting to drink a little too much. So then it was around October. I was like, I need to do something completely different. So I had been researching microdosing psychedelics for a few years. And I was like, this may be the avenue that might help me, because everything else I've tried hasn't worked, and I can't keep drinking. Like not the way that I was, because if I start drinking, I don't want to stop. So
and then you get drunk Rachel back in the scene, and that's no good.
I've heard Russell Brand speak about that. The microdosing and stuff like that.
Yeah, so I started looking really into that, and then I don't know how I should say it on a podcast, like because technically stuff are still Schedule 1, so it's
just keep it,
Yeah.
Well, I don't want nobody to come see you. Like, you know what I mean? Like that's the last thing I want. I don't want nobody to come see you. Just say you got into some microdosing, and this is what happened.
Yeah, the research shows that by microdosing, like you basically repair the damage that's done in your brain caused by things like depression. And when you introduce these small amounts of a psychedelic substance, it's subperceptual. So you're not actually tripping, like you're not a full on trip. Like somebody who, you can't like take acid every day and expect to function, like eventually you'll fry your brain and you just stop working. But the research that they were doing back in the 50s and 60s, before it became completely illegal and banned in the 70s, and then when Nixon started the whole war on drugs, like they were actually doing, the government and hospitals and universities got funded to do this research. And LSD was something they used to treat alcoholism back in the 50s and 60s. And they had a lot of success, but there wasn't a lot of documentation and a lot of these blind trials and stuff like that. But when the government shut it all off and made them ban substances, they weren't getting funded anymore. So they couldn't do the research. So we lost 40 something years of research time. So ever since about 4 or 5 years ago, people have started introducing this started doing a lot of these tests and trials with these substances because they realized that it is a natural substance that comes from, like, mushrooms grow in the ground. And for thousands of years, these indigenous people in South America have been using those things. And those people aren't like in the society we're in now, but you don't know or hear about things like anxiety or depression that those people were dealing with as much as it is today. Even people like 50 or 60 or 70 years ago, you don't hear about it as much. There was probably it existed, but the people thousands of years ago, or even hundreds of years ago, they used these natural substances in ceremony, and they were closer to nature, and they were closer to their gods and spirits and spirituality, and they lived a more fruitful life, and they were productive, and they were workers, and they, did things in society, and they kept their group and community functioning. And we've gotten away from that in the past like 100 or so years. Like, we've gotten away from that because we've banned all these different substances,
And
and
we
we
chase
didn't do.
the $1
Yeah, and it's, big pharma is out there pushing uh out drugs that treat the symptoms, but they're not trying to treat actually what's wrong. Like, what is the main issue?
Right.
So,
Well, yeah, because
within-
they wouldn't be able to sell their
exactly.
their
They're-
cure.
Yeah.
Or
You
their
can't sell a cure, because once you cure people, they don't need you anymore.
Yeah,
Like,
they get you on the comeback, as Chris Rock would say.
yeah. Yeah, and so that's the thing about like microdosing now, is you realize that you don't have to take a whole macro dose to trip, but like these studies show, and the trials that they've been doing for things like MDMA, like Molly and ecstasy and stuff, like they're starting to use that now to treat PTSD in veterans, and they have a high success rate. Like, they do treatments in a facility with an actual person who's licensed to give these drugs, and they do a treatment with the person, with the patient, and after like 2 treatments they're like months apart, and they talk to the therapist the whole time. In between, they have regular checkups. They've shown like 75% improvement, like, at least, and just like over the course of a couple months. And this is people that have like fought like in the Gulf War and stuff in Afghanistan and stuff like that. Like, these people have seen the shit, they've been through some stuff.
They got to
And
stare.
but like, and now they're showing all this improvement from these substances, and there's all kinds of substances in the psychedelics range. These aren't the opioids and things that are like causing issues out there, that are like the heroin and there's like some other crazy stuff that's going around that's like putting people in
Fentanyl.
alleyways and
Fentanyl. Yeah.
fentanyl. Yeah.
Let me ask you this. So, how from just the last time that you were here, like how has this helped your life?
Well, like those anxiety attacks and things that I would get, like, basically non-existent now. Like,
Our communication is like 1,000,000 times better. Or it exists and is good, thanks to the new pathways in his brain.
yeah, I will say this though, like, it's not, and I've read it 1,000,000 times, and the things that I've researched, it's not a magic bullet. You can't like take these things and expect to get better. Mindfulness and meditation have also helped. Like, by practicing mindfulness and reading about that stuff and researching that and finding new meditations that I like when you practice those things, you take yourself out of everything that's going on in the world, and you focus on yourself. You focus on going deep within yourself and finding a center and finding a place that you can heal and grow. And then when you come back out of it, you're more mindful, and you can think when someone's talking to you, you can pay attention better. Like, apparently I have ADHD, so sometimes like Rachel will be telling me something and I'm like, huh? Like, what?
What are we talking about here?
Sometimes he mouths the words I'm saying. I think it's to like make himself listen. I don't know, unless it's him ignoring me and being like, like
Jeez.
It might be that my brainwave.
Cow, jeez.
I think it's those times when you actually take over my brain, and so you're saying the things, and my mouth is moving to what you're saying, but like I'm not there. Like I zap out because
all
your
right, I don't
brain
think that's good.
takes control of mine, and we become like
become one.
No.
That is so cute.
No, that's not what happens because when he does the mouthing thing, it totally throws me off and I forget what I'm saying. So maybe I did go into his brain and then totally forgot who I was. Maybe that's
Man, should I call you? Call you Edward?
Cute. That is so cute.
No, we're not cute.
I want it to be cute though.
this stuff. Like our relationship is like 100 times better than it was a couple years ago. We were going through a lot of stuff, and
Even a year and a half ago.
yeah, but like it was the meds. They were like making me crazy, and like I just wasn't thinking right, and like I had so many issues inside that like I just couldn't function basically. And like when I'm trying to pay attention to another person and give them the just the attention they deserve, like I wasn't there because I wasn't giving myself attention. Like I just couldn't focus long enough to think. But like,
I could have told you that, but I don't think you could have heard it from me.
I wasn't hearing anything anybody was telling me back then.
But I mean, that's fucking dope. Like, thank you, brother Matt, for your testimony.
Thank you for sharing.
You should say that was fucking dopamine.
Dopamine. It was fucking dopamine.
I think that's awesome. Like, the idea that we can, really sit down and realize that they always say the first step is realizing I really have a problem here. How do I get to a place to where I'm better? Because in all of our cases, like for all of us, right? Like the better we are, the better the people around us are. You know what I mean? Like,
Yep.
So like I think that's really awesome. And I say congratulations for making it through your journey. And I know that your journey is not over.
Right.
Because some of this stuff is never quite over. But I mean, you made it here. And that's the most important part. And like thank you for sharing, like, because sometimes I be going through some shit, and I actually consider meditation too. I consider meditation.
I don't know how many times I mentioned meditation, and he blew me off.
And I don't. Yeah, I don't know.
There's a lot of different forms of meditation, and you got to find the one that suits your personal style. And like the stuff that me and Rachel tried, like it was like this breathing thing with like a little circle on a phone. I didn't consider it meditation because I wasn't going into myself and trying to discover what my issues were and how to fix them. Like I'm very technical. Like when something's broke, I gotta like know how the gears connect and how the pistons are moving, so I know which things.
You know what
adjust.
I hate more than something breaking? It's something not working, and all of a sudden it gets better, and I have no idea how.
Why it got better?
Yeah, and I'm like,
yeah.
I don't trust this shit.
Then you're always on guard. You're like, something's gonna happen.
It all depends. If it's my shit, if it's something directly connected with me, like if my TV's fucking up and then all of a sudden the TV just starts working and I'm like, I don't trust this shit. But like, let's say Pooh Bear's computer. If Pooh Bear's computer is fucking up, then all of a sudden it's working. I'm like, great for me. I'm like, like that type of thing. So it depends. Like that I kind of go back and forth. I think for me, I have a very, very hard time. I'm a Virgo, so my brain works overtime. Like it works overtime. It is very rare that I am truly thinking about nothing. And even having a conversation, like I can have a conversation with you right now, like what I'm doing, but I'm also thinking of like three other things. I'm also thinking about watching Mass Effect videos. I'm also thinking about what I'm going to eat when this is over because Pooh Bear already made quesadillas for herself and didn't even offer to share them. And then like like shit like that, like I'm having all of these conversations with myself in my brain, especially about those quesadillas.
Hey, if you come over again, I'll make you some quesadillas and
because like you the type of motherfucker see like white people. See y'all be doing stupid shit like you'll put some corn in it, like, and I'm like, oh come
I don't
on,
want
dog.
no corn and no quesadilla.
Bacon in my quesadilla. Bacon bits.
And see, bacon bits I'm cool with. It's just gonna be the weird stuff.
Outside. Oh, you put cheese on the outside so that it kind of crisps up the tortilla on the outside and lots of cheese on the inside. I make good quesadillas. Not like
well, Pooh Bear just learned. So we ain't got to that part yet.
If you want just cheese, I'll make you just cheese. But I'll probably have a little bit of bacon or ground beef or something. And I'll have some sour cream and guacamole to dip it. But it'd be just for me.
You can keep that. You can keep the sour cream and guacamole, especially the guacamole. Now you can have that.
Yeah, I don't want that either.
See, here's the thing. I don't even know what guacamole tastes like. I just know that it doesn't look appetizing at all. Like there is nothing that looks appetizing about guacamole. That shit
I've
does
said this
not
before, but that's what that's what a 5-year-old would say. Be like, that don't look good, but you gotta try it. You'll like it.
It's like cauliflower.
I have to play Yo-Go Gabba Gabba for you.
Cauliflower just looked like somebody bleached broccoli, and I'm like, nah, I'm cool on the cauliflower, dog.
Those cauliflower like buffalo wings? No.
Yeah, there was
no. Never again. That was the worst decision I had ever made.
I think like vegan shit like that is just like the worst. Like, first of all, vegans the worst. Like, am I right? Vegans are the worst. But like, when I hate the fact that like vegans be always make shit that's like it tastes like meat, and it's just like, no, motherfucker, you say you ain't want no meat. So stop making shit that tastes like to supposedly taste like meat.
Yeah, I don't like that shit either.
It don't make no fucking sense. Don't make no Beyond fucking burger. No, fuck that shit. You shouldn't have no goddamn burgers. Like you said, you ain't want no fucking meat. Don't have nothing that tastes like meat. Don't have nothing that look like meat. I don't want nothing that smell like meat. Don't go anywhere near anything that has anything to do with meat. You say you wanted motherfucking vegetables, have those motherfucking vegetables and stay the fuck away from my meat.
Well, I've said that before to where like I don't like that shit either. Like the only thing that's like kind of good is like the black bean burgers, and that's mainly just because black beans are delicious. But there's so many amazing like vegan and vegetarian recipes. You don't need to make fucking vegetarian burgers.
Okay, I'm gonna tell you something.
I love vegetables, but I want them to taste like vegetables.
Exactly. Okay,
but I love meat, and I want it to taste like meat.
Here's the thing about black beans. Like, how many things that we eat, right, have the word black in it, and it's actually good. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
blackened chicken breast.
Blackened chicken breast.
It just sounds like you just burnt it, and you just wanted me to. You know what I mean? Like
everything's better blackened. Everything's better blackened, especially music.
Black Forest ham. Black Forest ham is good.
Nah, dog. Like I changed, like because like now you invoking like trees, not only trees into this ham, but black trees. Like no, thank you. I'm good. Like calm down.
I didn't think it was gonna taste good, but everybody else was like, "No, that's really good." Because I'm honey ham. Honey ham is what I like.
Ham with some, you know what I mean? Make some honey ham with some motherfucking some pineapples and some fucking brown sugar. You know what I mean? Like I'm good there, but don't make no black forest
ham. But there's also a cake that's Black Forest cake, and it's like chocolate and cherries.
Yeah, but it's like, okay, but then it's like when you have it, it's like okay, this is maybe too much chocolate, and I know that's a sacrilege to some people, but this may be
it's true.
too
You
much
can have too much
chocolate.
chocolate. Yeah.
It's too like Black Forest cake is too much chocolate. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I think it's just a smidge too much. So that's what I'm saying. There's not very many black things that are appetizing. I mean, I'm just saying, like, there's not very many things that have the word black in it that's appetizing. I don't like black cherry. Black cherry makes me nauseous.
Yeah,
I don't know what it is. Black cherry flavoring. I don't think I've ever had real like black cherries. Is black cherries actually a thing, or is that just the name of the flavor? But
blue raspberry.
Huh?
Like blue raspberry. That's not really a thing. This is black cherry, like blue raspberry.
Right. But see, that got blue in it. It's not black. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
black raspberry sounds disgusting.
But
Black
blue raspberry isn't like there's no blue raspberries, is what she's saying.
Is there black cherries though?
That's what I'm saying. I don't know. Is it? But like black cherry flavoring is disgusting to me. Like it always makes me nauseous.
Cherry is really hard because if you don't do it right, it just tastes like medicine.
Yeah.
And some people's like strawberry flavoring tastes like Robitussin to me. Like, it tastes like Robitussin. And Robitussin is supposed to be when shit's fucked up. You know what I mean? And I don't want to drink something or eat something that tastes like shit is fucked up right now.
I think I said this on the podcast before. One time we were having band practice, and then some guy had like some Code Red, and they were like, "Oh, try this Code Red," and I was like, "Oh, fuck, sure." And then it had like a bunch of rum in it, so Code Red and the rum tasted just like Robitussin. I was like, "What? Just give me Robitussin?" It's like, no.
I don't know. Like, see, here's the thing. Like, people who drink lean and stuff like that, it's just kind of like, I don't know if I want to drink cough syrup recreationally. That doesn't sound like a good thing at all.
He did.
In the Marine Corps, we used to like robo trip all the time. Like, you buy like a couple of those big bottles of the DM, Robitussin DM or whatever, and you just like chug that stuff, and you end up like purging later, but then you go to like a different planet. You're like gone.
Well, this is like years ago that kids were putting cough medicine in their assholes.
Butt chugging?
Yeah, butt chugging. They were butt chugging cough syrup and getting real fucked up. Like real fucked up. They were butt chugging. I ain't never heard of no shit like that, but apparently some young people figured out, okay, so if you take a bottle of Robitussin or some NyQuil, all right, so what I'm going to do, right, I'm going to flip upside down.
I think they soak tampons and put them up their butt. I'm pretty sure that's how you butt chug.
No, this what I said. The original, I mean, like this is like came from like the news site. So the news site had them flipping upside down and putting the bottles in their butts. So like, but that's the news. The news is a little square. So like maybe the tampons was really how they got it done. But like with the news had
use
everything
a funnel. Like you used to funnel beer. Like you just like shove the hose in there and then you do a keg stand while you're doing that, so people are holding you up while you're doing a keg stand and you're fed.
I've never done that. I do not like the taste of beer. I do not like the taste of beer.
What about black beer?
Black beer has to be like the worst of the worst.
No, it's the best of all beer because it's the best for you too. There's actually like health benefits from it.
Nah, black beer just don't. Black beer, yeah, he's drinking. See, he's drinking some white beers, and white beer look like it's good for you.
Got an IPA.
Is that a black beer? Like it looks black to me.
IPAs are different. It's an India Pale Ale. This is Imperial though, so it's like got a couple of those percentage marks of alcohol content.
Has that high hoppiness where it tastes like bitter
flowers?
Trees. Yeah.
See, it tastes like a Black Forest, and I'm not here for that. I can't think of anything with black in the title that I actually like. Think like this tastes really good. You know what I'm saying?
And you don't say black beer, you say dark beer. So
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
I've never been like, I want me a.
Black beer sounds cool, but it sounds cool to have. It does not sound cool to drink.
well, there's a black ale. There's black ale. I've had some of those.
Yeah, see,
But-
like it sounds
But
it
the
sounds
dark
cool.
beers are like they're more of like the Guinness and stuff like that. Those are like darker.
Guinness look like fucking mud to me. Like, am I the only one where it shit look like mud?
It's a
It
stout.
It's creamy and delicious.
No,
It's got no
Oh.
sweetness at all. I don't like it.
Well, is Guinness a stout or a porter? It's a stout, right?
Just stout,
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah. Because a porter is also dark, but it's a lot lighter. Like, it's a lot
Yeah.
lighter. It's a lot less harsh, I guess you would say.
It's a different kind of a brewing process. Like for a small stint, I actually brewed my own beer for a while and invested thousands of dollars into like equipment and like recipes. And I still have like a bunch of my original brews that I made that are still in the fridge and been in there for like 8 years now. Like,
Oh, that's black beer indeed.
I made
The
some
problem
pretty
is-
good recipes. They came out
Okay.
pretty good. A lot of people. I even won a contest. I won like a brew fest one
Really?
time. Yeah,
You did. I remember. Was that when you were dressed as a corgi?
yeah.
He
Yep.
has a corgi onesie, and he wore it to the brew fest.
I don't think you were supposed to tell everybody that. He got that look on your face like, woman, I didn't
Well,
tell
if I
you.
wasn't supposed to tell anybody, how come he wanted me to post it on Facebook?
Oh, really?
Yeah, he even dressed. Okay, after he got back from his little week, 10-day long vacation,
Mental hospital.
he came home, and one of the first things he wanted to do was check the mail in his corgi onesie, and he's like, all right, you ready? I'm like, okay.
We rolling? We rolling. Are we
We're
rolling?
rolling, all right. And so I followed him.
I look
To the
fucking
door.
fantastic. I just
It's on
want
Facebook
you.
somewhere, I
It's
think.
on
So if
Facebook.
you-
And
if you
and
search one of our profiles, you can find that video somewhere.
Uh-huh.
I
It's
recorded
hilarious.
window walking down the driveway, and he like got past the trash can, and he lifted his leg, and then or he did it on the way back. Anyways, he peed on the trash can. He got the mail, and he like did a little scratch thing. It was great, and it's on
Yeah.
Facebook. And he told me to post it.
Do I want to find this?
It's funny. I'll tag you in it.
Don't tell me. You know what? I'll find
The
it.
comments.
Don't-
I'll go to the comments and I'll tag your name.
You say, don't
Don't
tag
we-
me. People might think it's me.
No, they won't think it's you.
Like
He's a little lighter fur than your skin.
it was like cosplay, except I was acting and like being goofy and
It was great. I
Okay,
love it.
so let me ask you this question. And if this leads us down a path that we don't want to be on, like if it's like some weird sexual stuff, like please stop me because I don't want to hear anything about that. But like, why do you have a corgi onesie in the first place?
It's his. I have to ask him. Why do you have a
I just-
corgi onesie?
it was probably like, and I've had it for a long time, I think, but like I was probably online looking at people's like cosplay creations and stuff, and like I ended up on this one website, and they had all these different kinds of onesie jumpsuit things that had like the hood with the eyeballs and the ears sticking up, and like
Got a little tail on the
it's got a
back.
tail, and the corgi one jumped out to me because I used to have a corgi, and he ended up dying, and like we had to put him to sleep I just felt horrible. That was one of the losses in my life I suffered because I just missed that dog so much. But like his name was Ein, and he was based off the character from Cowboy Bebop, the anime.
Okay.
And he looked just like that dog, that little corgi. Ever since I saw that anime like 25 years ago, I wanted a corgi. And so like, I don't know if it was like 15 or 16 or 17 years ago, I got one, and he was like my best friend for a few years, and then crazy stuff happened. So anyway, I love corgis, and I saw this website and I saw the corgi onesie, and I'm like, I gotta have that. And so So I ordered it and it showed up.
So
So
let
not
me
special at all.
so let me ask you this. So do you occasionally put that on and then tell your wife, I need you to come up to me and say walkies in a very high pitched voice?
Sadly, no, he does not.
And I will just follow. You say walkies, I will follow.
No, but
Okay.
maybe we should get a leash and a collar.
I would totally do some shit like that. Like I would totally do some shit like that. Like fucking lead me. Like you know what I mean. Long as I end up where I'm trying to go, I'll wear a collar. I ain't got much of a neck, but like, come on, I'll wear a collar. We could get this done. We could get this done immediately.
So no, very very innocent. His ownership of the corgi. Let's see.
But that's cool. Like, rest in peace to your dog, sir.
I should wear it more like if I'm doing game streaming though, because if I'm like, we did one last October, I think, for Halloween, and we did like a joint like gaming stream, a live stream, and we all wore costumes, and I didn't really have a costume, so I just wore the corgi onesie, and it looked cool on the stream, so I should do that.
Yeah,
Well, gamer girls wear those things.
Yeah.
There's this one lady that I watch, and every time she puts out a video, she's like all like makeuped up and stuff like that, right? So I've been a subscriber of hers in a long time, but she posted these pictures of her. She had a toothache. She had to get her wisdom teeth pulled.
Oof.
She took a picture of herself.
With no makeup,
No makeup.
looked like a totally different person.
Completely different person. Like it was not even close. It's like, holy shit, is this really the same person? Like the hair was a little undone. Like, you know what I mean? She had fucking toothache. You know, them shit's fucking painful. So like she had wisdom teeth pulled. Like she was not having a good day, but she posted the picture to be like, look, I'm fucked up right now. I can't put out these videos. Like when I'm able to talk.
You did see the lady without the teeth that like
Over on TikTok,
yeah.
her change is incredible.
Incredible. And that's why I be telling
Makeup can do magic when you know how to do it.
Yeah, but if I was really out here in these streets, in these dating streets, like I would have all the trust issues. Like I need to see you, like, you know what I mean? I need you to stay the night. Like I need to see you when you wake up in the morning. Like, but I need to wake up first. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? Like
before having to go right to the bathroom, put on her face.
Yeah, before you put on your face, I need to see what your face look like before all that. For real. I need to see all that, every bit of that. Like, nope, can't do it without it. And face.
Yeah.
If you haven't, no spoilers, because I know at least Matt's seen this. Suicide Squad is fucking amazing.
Oh, we watched that
Last night, I think it was.
It was fucking amazing. Now,
it was a lot of fun.
I've got it on Plex. So
it took a whole bunch of Marvel motherfuckers to make a good DC movie. Because there's a lot of Marvel actors or people who have been in a Marvel movie or so that's in this, including Stallone, who does pretty much the best job in the movie. Stallone is King Shark, and Stallone does the best job in the movie. Period, hands down. He's the best actor. He should get an award for that. Because unless somebody tells you that was Stallone, or like you knew that going in, you had no idea that was Stallone.
Yeah, at the end of the movie, Matt's like, "Wait, that was Stallone?" I'm like, I saw his name in the credits in the beginning, and I didn't catch it until he mentioned it at the end, and I'm like, "Holy shit, you're right."
Yeah, I looked it up after we watched the movie because I was like, "Where was Stallone that whole time?" You know, but apparently, like, he just did the voice, though. Like, he wasn't out there running around. There was, like, another guy doing the modeling or whatever they were doing for the CGI.
You mean he
that
was
was a
dark with makeup?
Because the guy who did the mocap and the voice for Weasel, and then he also has a um, brief section as Calendar Man. Like when they're in prison and he has like the mumps tattooed across his forehead. He's also the guy who does the motion capture for Rocket Raccoon in the Guardians movies.
Oh.
He's the director's brother, and and then he also plays the other guy that's next to what's his name, the guy with the arrow and the that was also in this movie. See, like, they're all in this movie, like, you know what I mean? Even Stallone was in a fucking Marvel movie. Almost all of these people were in Guardians of the Galaxy of some sort. The chick who plays Mantis was even in this movie. She had a brief cameo as the chick in the red at the club. Like, almost like a lot of them have been in a Marvel movie, and then even the movie has 2 Marvel directors in it.
James Gunn.
Gunn is the guy who's directing, but Taika Waititi is Ratcatcher, the dad.
Isn't he doing the new thing on Hulu or whatnot, or Amazon, or the Reservation Dogs? Is that him?
I don't know.
I think that's on Hulu. I haven't seen it though.
I know he's behind Free Guy. I know he's behind Thor Ragnarok, and he also plays Korg in the. I love Korg, man. And if you haven't seen Jojo Rabbit, see that shit. That shit's so fucking good. It's so many like people who like the dude from fucking Ant-Man, who's just one of the little side characters, is a main character in this. He's the polka dot man.
Oh. I like that guy.
It's like he's the polka dot man, and fucking like, and then of course Idris Elba. Like, when we have these conversations, we forget sometimes. I mean, I forgot. I'm not even gonna lie. I'm like, yo, all these Marvel people, and then I went, holy shit, Idris Elba was Heimdall, and I completely fucking forgot.
Who was he?
Idris Elba, Marvel too.
Heimdall in the Thor movies, because he has the fucking eyes, and he has in the gold suit. Yeah.
There was a guy that cosplayed him at a convention like several years back that me and Rachel went to, and I took a picture of him, or I got a picture taken with him because his costume was awesome. It looked just like the movie, and I was like, that is awesome.
If I ever cosplay, there's only one thing I would ever do.
Prince.
Oh, fuck that.
It's Coach.
I told you.
I know.
I told you.
I know it's Coach.
It's Coach. Coach from Left 4 Dead 2. I think that's the one that fits me perfectly. And I just walk around the convention going, we ain't got time for this, Ellis, and over and over again. Like, that sounds like a great thing. I think I should do that.
Well,
give me a LSU.
Well, Left 4 Dead 2 is a video game. So speaking of those, you guys played any video games?
I tried to play Back 4 Blood. I couldn't get in on PC. I couldn't get in on Xbox. Shit was just kind of fucked up for me, and I was mad because I really wanted to play.
Yeah, I haven't played anything in a long time. I've been sitting it out for since I think it was last November. I did a 24-hour stream for the Extra Life thing, and it just burnt me out bad. I've played a couple times. I've played Terraria with my son, and we did that on a stream a couple months ago. But other than that, I haven't played anything. What?
I made you play Soul Calibur with me a couple times.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Fam, I'm gonna tell you something. If I ever got into doing live streams for Extra Life or something like that, I'm not doing the 24 hours. I'm doing 212s.
That's what I do.
I'm not doing 24. Yeah, I'm doing like what Chase does. I'll do 212s, do 212s in a weekend, but I'm not doing 24.
There's no Extra Life police that says you have to. I don't even know where the 24-hour thing come from, but
Really? You have to do 24 hours in a row?
Most people do, but like there's no rule.
When I first heard of it, I thought that it was just like you played a few hours at a time, and within this time frame, you played 24 hours.
Yeah, no, people will play for 24 hours straight, yeah.
It's crazy.
Some people will play for 24. There's some people who have like scheduled breaks and stuff like that and shit like that. Or will do it as a part of a team where they kind of rotate in and out.
And a lot of people will be like, oh shit, my extra life's coming up. I can finally get some time into The Witcher, and just play the games that they don't have time to play.
Yeah, that I don't know if I would watch. Okay, I'm lying. I would totally watch a 24-hour Mass Effect stream, but because I'm pretty much doing that now, I would totally watch some shit like that. I wouldn't watch it like straight, but I totally would tune in to a large chunk of it. But yeah, I like the idea of people having a team. Now, here's the problem with having a team. You got to be around your sweaty, stinking homeboys for 24 hours. And even if y'all in the house and then somebody go take a nap or something like that.
Speaking of just not even the extra life thing, like if I was like 21 and I had roommates, dude, I would totally be like, hey, dudes, let's just have a like 24/7 streaming thing to where that's what
marathon.
We do. That's what we do all the time. It's always live, but we just take. And that could probably start getting views because at some point, no matter whose schedule, you're live for it.
Yeah, I think I would love to really, really sit down and be a streamer. I just don't think I have the time for it, and I don't have the setup for it. But I would love to be a streamer.
I don't have the patience for it because I'll like play games and I'll be like, oh man, I need to stand up and like walk around, maybe listen to some podcast or something. I just get.
Yeah,
so I just can't.
My attention
marathon
span.
game.
I can't like focus on one game for too long. Like even during my 24-hour stream, I probably played like 8 games. Like I kept switching between them, and like at the same time, I would play one of them, and I would go for like 3 or 4 hours, and I'm like, okay, I'll stop and take a break when I get past this one point that I'm trying to get to, and then I'm like, I'll get past that point, and then I'm like, well, maybe I can keep going a little longer, and I'm like pushing myself. I don't like to feel like I'm having to push myself to do something I'm enjoying. Like if I'm enjoying it, I should want to keep doing it. But like,
I scheduled things to where it would be like 24 hours. If I do 2 hours per game, that would be 12 games. Yeah. So I picked 12 games and math. So I picked 12 games and then I would like pretty much stick to that, and then that would keep it fresh and whatnot. And
yeah, that's what I should have done.
Did it. But yeah, I have some gaming updates or whatnot. I finished the medium, which and another thing, when I finished the medium, I was like, motherfucking fuck COVID, because I was playing this back in like January. And then I got that, and then after that, I kind of just lost interest in wanting to play it. So, and that was in January. So now it's August. I played it one time, one sitting, and I finished it. And I was like, I was that close to fucking finishing this game, and I just never did it because I was just like, it was just been so long to where I kind of didn't know what I was doing or whatnot. But I knew what I was doing once I started playing. But yeah. I ended up finishing it. And I've been playing a game called Scarlet Nexus. I'm still playing that, which is kind of a JRPG. I mean, it is a JRPG in the fact that it's a Japanese game and it's an RPG, but it's not a traditional JRPG where it's like turn-based. It's not a game like Final Fantasy or Persona or something like that. It's you do have skill trees and all the RPG kind of stuff, but it is definitely very anime oriented, but the action, the fighting is very frenetic and high action. You're like slicing and dicing and like throwing things with telekinetic powers and whatnot. It's really good.
Have you tried Genshin Impact?
No, it's not even that close to an RPG. a JRPG. It's more. It's not like Devil May Cry, but that's where I would like say like Devil May Cry is definitely a very Japanese thing, but it's very action oriented. It doesn't play like Devil May Cry, but that's the only thing I can really think of that's kind of a thing. But it's what's up?
You'll have to send me links to those so I can check them out.
Yeah, it's a good game, but I got to chapter 3 in Red Dead Redemption, so that's where I was on the Xbox because I rebought it on the PC because my Xbox is now in my son's room, and I was like, man, I never got to finish Red Dead Redemption 2. So I'm actually to the part that I was on the Xbox. So that's a game which I'm actually really excited because it's the South, and I know for a fact that when you're in the South, you'll get to like find the KKK and like shout at them, and they like end up setting each other on fire because they dropped the cross on themselves. And I want to do that so bad.
That sounds like fun. That's the only part of this that sounds like fun.
But because I just mentioned 3 games, right? So what I've been doing, because I haven't been finishing many games, is I've been saying I'm going to play 3 games, and like during the week, like on like say Wednesday, it was Medium, Thursday is Scarlet Nexus, Friday it's Red Dead, and I just alternate those, and that actually keeps me playing those games because I'm not getting burned out on one game. So I've actually finished a few games. Still playing that D&D Dark Alliance, which is not great, but we're pretty much almost done with it. I've been playing it with Mike from Bad Fighter Figures, and which is a Game Pass game. And then The Ascent is good, but good by yourself. Because, well, at least if you're on PC, for some reason, Game Pass on PC fucking sucks. It's just, they don't update.
I pay for Ultimate, and I've never used any of that shit on PC.
Well, the thing is, like, you'll go into a game and be like, oh, this game has an update. That don't fucking happen. You can straight up go into the game, try to do online shit, and your shit's not working. You're like, why is it not working? It's because the game has an update, but you don't do it through the Game Pass app. You have to go through the Microsoft Store, say, get updates, and update it there. Like, it's so fucking 2009. Dude, it's so bad. But
Microsoft.
So the reason that my game got fucked up is because I preloaded it the night before. Oh, the game's about to come out. You can preload. The preload fucked up to where I never got any updates at all. Even if I said get updates, I had to uninstall and reinstall to get the current. I had like a before release version of the game, so my game was like fucked up beyond even playing with people. Like I was getting really bad performance and all this shit, and now it's great. So I may actually be able to play with some people, but it's a good game. It's kind of a Diablo type game, but it's also a twin stick shooter, and it's in the cyberpunk not in the cyberpunk universe, it's in a cyberpunk universe. So, but it's very, very the world is very very detailed, and it's made by 12 people. So give that a try, especially it's on Game Pass. So I've been playing the Outer Worlds since I finished the Medium. I put another game in its spot, that I haven't finished, and I think I'm pretty close to beating that. I was playing that before the podcast started, and actually I was not pooping that entire time. I was playing that, had to go poop. I was in the middle of a what you call it, a
like a boss battle?
No, a conversation thing. To where
go ahead and try to talk your way out of like trying to talk about how you were.
I was in a conversation, so I come back out, and then I had to like get through the conversation before I can save. And once I got there, I saved and came on the podcast. But that only took me like 5 minutes. Most of that was pooping. But
we don't believe you.
Mm-hmm.
What I don't like about gaming a lot of times is like I don't like sitting there and like when I get to a point where I want to stop, I can't stop because I'll be like you were, like in the middle of a conversation where I'm like, these two characters are talking back and forth. I've got to wait till they get done to move on to the next point so I can save the game. And like usually it's right in the middle of a conversation where I'm like, I'm tired of playing this and I want to stop, but I gotta keep going to get to that save point. Or I gotta go back and
like,
all over again.
Talky shit. I hate games when you watch the conversation. Who cares?
Another thing is like how well in the Scarlet Nexus the conversations and stuff would, like, the cutscenes would happen, but you can't pause. Like in Red Dead, like cutscenes, conversations, you hit pause, it pauses. And I'm like, more games should do that shit. If you're in a cutscene or you're in a conversation, I should be able to pause so I can do what I need to do. It's like respecting the player that you're not going to be able to just sit through this fucking cutscene because your kid's fucking crying. You know what I mean?
You know, the
Your
only
house
thing
is on fire or something. You're like, damn it, it's burning, but I gotta get through this part.
I think the only thing that I really can't stand is like when you're playing a game and you pause it and the music still keeps going. So like somebody call you and be like, "Are you playing a video game?" No, like, you know what I mean. Like, you got to try to play it off or like mute your TV or something.
But at least if it's like something somber, but you like pause it in the middle of a boss fight, it's like like the whole time.
Right, and that is annoying to me. The rest of it, doesn't bother me that much. But that part bothers the shit out of me. Like, yo, if I pause the game, then I need everything to stop right now, including this fucking music.
Yeah.
Yeah, I need everything to stop right now. So that shit's annoying.
Rachel's a gamer. She plays phone games.
You know what I hate is that my phone gaming doesn't count as being a gamer because I'm on these games all the time.
All the time.
Actually, they count. What happens is a lot of like people who play games on their phone, they don't consider themselves gamers because they don't, they consider gaming to. I need a controller. I need a controller with 20 buttons to be one of y'all.
For companies, they definitely count because the mobile gaming and casual gaming is the highest revenue of all gaming. Like hardcore, like say like Red Dead Redemption 2 is like this much of gaming players.
Yes, they said I saw a YouTube video where they said last fiscal year, mobile games made $75 billion.
I play Candy Crush Saga.
Really? Still?
Yeah, the soda one. I play Best Fiends, like Friends without the R.
I've heard of that through listening to like podcasts that have commercials.
Ads, yeah. My friend Karen suggested I play that. I have Bricks Ball Crusher, where you bounce the ball and you break the bricks. Cookie Jam and Harvest Solitaire, which is my favorite. And Harvest Solitaire, it's a gorgeous game. Here, you can't see it. It's too bright. Oh, there it is.
Okay, my ex used to play Cookie Jam a lot.
I can't stop. And then I have like my streaks in the games. My longest streak is Time Hop though, and that's 4 years. 4 years. Every single day, check my Time Hop. But yeah, I play a lot of phone games, but not real games. I used to kick ass at Tetris Master. But some of those kind of games.
If you ever
kicks my ass on Soul Calibur, those fighting games on PS4.
Button masher.
Button masher.
If you because like fighting games, my brother last podcast, he said the fighting game to get right now is that Power Rangers one.
Power Rangers.
Yeah, he said it's really fucking good.
He said he loved that shit. Like, I was like, okay, Power Rangers fighting game, but no. Have you? Did anybody around you have a Switch?
Matt has a Switch.
Yeah, I have a Switch.
Have you tried Tetris 99? That's what it's called.
We've got so many game systems set up that we don't ever use because whatever reason, I guess they're not connected. They're just there for looks. A lot of stuff here.
No, they're all connected.
I've heard good things about Tetris 99, and I think it's free if you have their online service. If you have Nintendo's online service,
the
it's free.
eShop or whatever, or Nintendo account.
Yeah,
Is it
but
like
it's like an online game where you and 99 people are basically in a large scale Tetris battle.
Oh
oh,
wow.
like who can
And
Tetris the fastest?
yeah, and it's like knocking people out through your Tetris mastery.
Ooh. I used to play Duck Hunt too. I'd kick ass at that game.
Fuck Duck Hunt forever. That
Fuck
dog.
that dog. Fuck that dog.
Fuck
There's
that
a-
dog forever.
There's a new horror game called like Duck Season that's based on Duck Hunt.
The ducks attack you?
It's a VR game.
Can you shoot the dog?
I don't know, I
Good.
think the dog is the antagonist.
And can I kick the dog?
The dog has always been the antagonist. The dog is the reason why. I mean, come on, let's be honest about this, right? When you play Duck Hunt, like no one plays Duck Hunt unless you're like right up on the fucking TV. Like you don't play Duck Hunt from a ways back. Like you got to be like right there. Like
No, if they're too close, so you can't hit. They come from the other side.
But
You have to have like a comfortable distance, like coffee table, not couch.
Nah.
Yeah,
You know the
that's how I-
trick in Duck Hunt though? The trick to always
shooting
get
the
a
duck.
hit. No, like the trick to always getting a hit is to on those old tube TVs is you turn the brightness all the way down and the contrast all the way up, and then you could just shoot the gun anywhere you want and it always hits them. That's like a old hack.
I think that's called cheating.
Yeah. That's called cheesing. Now we can call it cheesing. We're not gonna call it cheating. That's cheesing. That's cheesing the system. He cheesing. But that's all
Like
good.
on a magazine or something.
That feels like cheating to me.
Yeah, it's a little cheesy.
I
But
also
you know
stood
what?
a bit back at the coffee table level.
But to be honest, like after all these like gaming technologies that's come out, I mean, for it to like register a shot through your TV with this light gun thing is still kind of amazing to me. I mean,
I don't think it would work on a modern day
it
TV.
doesn't
like
it
an
doesn't work
LCD.
on the it has to be a tube TV, but it's still very cool technology, I think.
Ooh, I played
But-
Pip too. That was fun.
But the last thing I played was Back for Blood that Scar said that he never got to play because he couldn't get a connection, or I don't even know what was wrong because you couldn't even play by yourself, right?
No, I never tried to play by myself. Well, actually, they won't let you play by yourself because if you set up a mission, they try to match you with people. I just couldn't play with people. If there was a way for me to play by myself, I would have tried it. Because when I'm just walking around the area, I'm fine until I try to connect with someone, and then everything just kind of fucks up. So I never got to play on PC or Xbox. So I never. A lot of people are very hype about this, and they said that it was a good time. Once they figured out how to play, they said it was a really good time.
I have some things to say that's not as much of that, but yes, it was overall a good time. I know that it's a beta, right? There's definitely things that can be patched out, like the internet stuff.
Don't try to stop. We're already over 2 hours.
Well, I mean, hey, we got guests, but the 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 thing is
I guess.
But you're talking about something that only you experienced because I couldn't. So
well, right, but I'm telling you about it. The internet thing, the connection issues can be patched out. Like things like, I don't know, hit detection or lag or whatever can be patched out. Like guns not performing right or need to be buffed or debuffed can be patched out, right? There's some things I think are like just need to be completely reworked. For one, they just need to get the fuck rid of that card shit. It's way too fucking. It's not too complicated. It's just unneeded. Like why?
But in this beta, they don't actually have anything that really explains it.
Right. It's just.
So maybe a tutorial.
But why
might
do we
be
need a
helpful.
deck building game inside of a Left 4 Dead type game?
So we don't call it Left 4 Dead?
but they've been calling it Left 4 Dead. They've been calling it a spiritual successor to Left 4 Dead since the beginning. And also, in the beta come out, they're like, this isn't really like Left 4 Dead. They're like, oh, it's not supposed to be Left 4 Dead. It's not Left 4 Dead. It's Back 4 Blood. You're like, dude, Left 4 Dead, Back 4 Blood. You know what you were doing, and now you're trying to backpedal. Come on. But
yeah, I think you add something in it so you don't get sued. I would totally. You know what? Card system. We do upgrades and shit through a card system, so we don't get sued.
But you know, there's the things like there's 50,000 types of guns, right? Mm-hmm. In Left 4 Dead, what made it popular and what made it great is its simplicity, right? You just killed zombies. You had fun with your friends. The things that like made it interesting was the director that would fuck with shit. You know what I mean? That's what made it fun, and also the versus campaign and stuff really kept it going to this day, right? But this is like too much fucking shit, man. Like sometimes we just didn't even have no fucking ammo because all I would find was sniper ammo. And me and Mike got pretty far in it to where we got to this one part to where there's a house that had all this stuff, all these like things you had to blow up, and it would startle the zombies, and then you'd have this big, which happened in Left 4 Dead. It's called the crescendos or whatever. Mm-hmm. And then we were like about to die, and then had no ammo after we left that house, and you drop down, and it's like, oh, now you gotta crank this thing. That's gonna do the fucking shit again. And we don't have no health and no ammo. We did that like 5 times. One time we got into, I actually had a toolkit to get into a shed. The shed had ammo, but it didn't have any ammo for his gun. And we had health, and he didn't have no ammo, and we still didn't fucking beat that shit because there's 2 crescendos and 2 big parts right fucking back to back. And it just needs a lot of fucking work like that. We did that shit like 5 times, and we were just like, fuck this shit. We just got so pissed. And I was
still
like,
in beta, right? Like,
yeah, but like, how can you patch out like? That's like changing the whole fucking map.
Is
that
the
map
beta still going on?
No, I don't think so.
No, I don't think so.
Do they have like a Discord or something where you can like,
yeah,
where people tell them like what's going on and like what they didn't like about it, and
you can patch in. You can patch in and like have like better ammo and loot drops.
Yeah,
that's something that definitely can change.
Yeah. But I just thought it was like a poor design to have 2 big crescendo parts back to back like that. Because Left 4 Dead didn't do that. It was normally a very balanced thing. So, but and also like I saw a video to where like, this is not the first time I've seen this, to where like older games looking more advanced than newer games. Like they showed the pipe bomb blow up in Left 4 Dead or in Back 4 Blood, and the zombies just kind of like fell over. And then the same pipe bomb in Left 4 Dead 2 from like fucking 10 years ago, and the zombies like flew apart, body parts all over the place, intestines and shit, and a lot more detailed. And that's 10 years ago, and yet the game that's coming out in October is less detailed.
They have until October.
Yeah.
And even beyond that, because you know games pretty much come out broken now.
Yeah. So, but I do think like more games should have betas.
Yeah, I think most betas kind of turn people away from the game, so I don't think most games should, because most people they'll play a beta and be like, oh, that was cool. I never have to worry about that again. That goes for a lot of demos too. Like a lot of people play the demos just like, oh, that was cool. And then they just completely lose interest.
I do understand that where people play a beta like a demo. A demo actually is supposed to show you the game, like get you interested in the game. A beta is not for that. But it's just like I think there's a lot of shit that needs to be fixed in Back 4 Blood, in my opinion.
Well, they have some time to fix some of it.
Yeah,
it's October, so right. And you know, Game Pass day 1, you got to pay nothing else. So.
But yeah, we can get into shout-outs now. We can get this thing over with. That's all I have.
Okay, I got 2 things that I want to talk about. It is like feedback. One is kind of personal. The other one is not. Which one would you like first? You want me to get the personal one out the way?
Sure.
Okay, so This dude Cam, this is extremely personal. He shared on Twitter a message. And this may be something over the white people's heads, like for real. But he shared a thing that says 8701 is greater than Confessions. And I think that is bullshit. If you truly believe that 8701 is greater than Confessions, then when the purge happens, it should start at your house. Like, for real, you need to be on the front lines of the purge. And we need to get you the fuck out of here if you believe that 8701 is greater than Confessions. That is nonsense, and we will not stand for this shit. You hear me, Cam? Okay, and I told you that one was extremely personal. And then the second one is a little bit personal for Chase. And Mike J said, "Thank you for reminding Chase to wash his hands. Never forget." For those of you who don't know, and we talked about this last week, Chase had an episode where he was drinking during the show, and he was drinking pretty decently during the show, and he was on his cell phone while recording the show and took it with him in the bathroom while he went to pee and didn't mute, and then walked out of the bathroom without washing his hands.
He didn't mute.
all on the show. So, shout out to Mike J. Never forget.
Got some clean hands right here.
I hope you cleaned them after you pooped.
I did.
That's how you get COVID right there. See, you're the motherfucker with COVID because you don't wash your hands. Hey, let me ask you about the COVID thing. Do you want a vaccine, or like, do you have to wait a certain amount of time before you can get a vaccine since you already had it?
It was 3 months, and I already have both.
Yay! Are we all vaxxed here?
Yeah, I got my shit in April.
And Chase is, and he is, and I am. Yay!
My boss, who got a Johnson & Johnson a ways back, around the time where I got mine, about a few weeks before I got mine. He got a Johnson & Johnson, and because he doesn't really like the Johnson & Johnson and like how the reports are coming out that it's kind of like the weakest one, of course, because it's the only one that you get one shot.
Yeah.
That we have access to. He went and got a booster shot of Pfizer, like Friday.
Are you supposed to mix and match like that?
They said they let him do it. They gave him a shot of Pfizer. He said because he said he trusts Pfizer more than the others. He got the Johnson & Johnson because it was one shot and it was done. But he said so he signed up and he got him a shot of Pfizer. Which I thought was weird, but like, you know, I mean, like I said, he got his like around April-ish when I got mine. So like it's been since then since he got that jab. So maybe I hope it works out for him.
Yeah.
Because they're saying that, you know, we are the Pfizer people are the ones that are less likely to absolutely positively need a booster shot, but you know, all different things keep coming out every day. I'm just like, hey, I got my shit back in April, so I'm okay, but I'm still wearing my mask because I don't trust you nasty motherfuckers.
Yeah.
I got mine in, I think it was May, and I have stopped wearing my mask, but they're starting to ramp up, like the Delta variant is kind of going crazy here in this area, and we only have 22% vaccination rate in our county. 22.
Fuck.
22, and like
I live in a
most.
large city and we're 50 something.
If you read the comments in the local posts, like everyone is like, the vaccine, just like the same fucking people were like, fuck masks and open everything up and blah blah blah. But I'm vaccinated and I'm not going to get hospitalized and I'm not going to die, so if they catch it from me, fuck them. That's how I feel right now.
I feel like that sometimes, but I also feel like,
But if they tell me to wear a mask in a store, I'll wear a mask.
yeah, I feel like that, but I also feel like, you know what? At the end of the day, I'm looking out for me. This mask I'm wearing is for me. It's not for you. I know that it's supposed to be me protecting all of you, but because I could be asymptomatic carrier, blah blah blah, whatever the fuck. But at the end of the day, I'm protecting myself from you because you nasty motherfuckers are the reason why we keep having all these fucking variants in the first place.
Yeah, I'm thinking I should probably start wearing a mask again. But again, I'm not going to be hospitalized, and I'm probably not going to die. And at work, we have a larger space between me and the very few customers that come in to the auto shop. Usually, they just drop it off, and I never see them. But
Right.
We never go anywhere either.
And we never go anywhere. If I go anywhere, it's to Dollar General, and it's at not busy times. But last time I went, I was the only person in the store not wearing a mask, and that was fucking weird. That was really weird.
Yeah, I've never had that situation. There's been times where I was the only one that was like when Texas opened back up, because Texas is kind of first to be like, no, fuck these masks. I started seeing that a lot, and like I would go to a place and like everybody is looking at me like, why you still got on your mask, sir? What?
Well, Rojas said that he went to a mom and pop hardware store, and like that dude was like banning people for.
Yeah, your sound cut out. Rojas went to where?
He went to a mom and pop hardware store.
Okay.
And then he said that like that dude was like would not let people in his store if they were wearing a mask.
That I can see that happening around here, honestly. I could definitely see that happening around here. Because the people around here
weird.
Idiots.
That's weird. But then again, like,
you got the governor saying they're not allowed to mandate masks in, like, I think Texas definitely, and I'm pretty sure Parsons here in Missouri said the same shit, like schools are not allowed to mandate it, or they're not allowed to, like, and they're not saying anything about you should get the vaccine. They're just saying you can't make people wear masks.
Meanwhile, the governor of Virginia be like, okay, so if you work for the government, it's gonna come a time real soon.
But isn't
that if you want to keep working for the government, I'm gonna need you to get that jab.
They're telling the military guys they have to get it now too.
Well, wasn't the you were saying that they're not allowed to do
They're not allowed to mandate masks.
Right, but wasn't the whole thing about personal freedom and
it's only personal freedom if it's something you believe in or agree with.
Yeah, I mean,
for me, I don't see what the big deal is about a vaccine, because for the past 100 years, we've had to get back. If you're in the military, they jack you up every year. I had a fold-out shot record that was like this long. It was as long as a CVS receipt, and it had a list of every vaccine, because you're traveling around the world constantly. So you're going to all these foreign countries, and you can't be taking stuff back and forth. And all these viruses are always mutating constantly. So the vaccines are there to protect us from, so like the flu shot, basic flu shot is revised every year. You're supposed to get it every year because the virus is mutating out there ever since 100 years ago when the influenza virus came out and killed like 1 million people. Like, all these anti-vaxxers, I don't get it, because I've been shot up with all these vaccines, and I'm fine.
It's simple. It's simpler than it's simpler than that. All these anti-vaxxers, right? And some of them, I'm like, motherfucker, we went to school together. You went to public fucking school, so that means you had to have all of your fucking vaccines. Like, and that shit had to be signed off for you to even fucking be here in fucking school. Mm-hmm. Like, so like you're trying to say that you're anti-vaccine, but like, bro, you went to public school.
Up until now, you've had them all.
You had your vaccine. And then also, there's another joke. I want to get this joke in, because every time someone mentions CVS receipts, I totally think of this joke. Okay, ready? Here we go. The Earth, right, is 24,901 miles around. or 4 CVS receipts. Holy fuck! Why is CVS receipts so long? Like I know we don't have time for this, but why are CVS receipts so long? Like it's like someone giving you like it's almost like they come out of a dot matrix printer. Like, like
You can hear
all of the pages are stuck together, and you have to break open your coupons and shit. Like,
Scar's getting into some stand up. He's like, "What's up with CVS receipts?
What's going on with CVS receipts? There's so no. Okay. All right. So we're gonna wrap this up. I think the show part has been like 2.5 hours. This is like one of the longest shows that we had in quite some time. Like, and okay. So first of all, I want to thank you two, Matt and Rachel, for joining us today for August. We appreciate you for just hanging with us for a little while. I've had a lot of fun. Thank you, Matt, for your testimony. And you know, because like sometimes we need to hear this shit, and we need to hear this shit from you. Need to hear this shit from your people. And like a lot of people say that when I talk about my mental health struggles, that it helps. It, you know, and like if talking about it helps one person, then fuck it, we've done our jobs. And you know, we keep just trying to reach people. And like the most important thing about mental health struggles is like, you know, a lot of us are going through this shit, and you are not alone. Because I know a lot of times when you're in the middle of this shit, you feel totally alone.
Yeah.
And that makes some of these feelings worse. Is like feeling like it's only happening to you, and that makes a lot of this feel worse. So thank you again, Rachel. It's always a pleasure. We've known each other for so long, and fuck these two dudes. Like we family.
Yeah.
When it comes to this internet shit, like we family. So
Yeah.
I will always appreciate you. I will always cherish you. When it comes to any of this.
I'm always wanting to be a guest.
Word up. We'll definitely have you back, and we'll talk about some Cookie Crush. I call it Cookie Crush. But we'll talk about why you force yourself to play a game that is punishing you on purpose, and you just keep going back over and over again to punish yourself over and over again, those fucking block breaking games. And you're just like, hey, I'm getting through the block breaking games, and then the big red one with like 500 just kind of shows up, and you're like, what the fuck, game?
Suddenly it's way at the fucking bottom, and it's like, holy crap, how am I supposed to get this? And then you die.
Yeah, that type of shit. So we talk about the psyche. We need to talk about the psyche of someone who forces themselves to play these types of games, because no matter what you think about it, you are a gamer. You can feel proud about that. I don't, but like, you can feel proud about that.
I can't. All right.
you can feel included. Like, but I mean, me, I'd rather, you know, instead of like torturing myself that way, I could just punch myself in the nuts. Like I would feel much better about myself instead of playing all of these games that are designed to punish me. And I keep going back. I could just punch myself in the nuts and just be like, okay. I think
torturing myself is a thing. I think it's a fetish I might have. I think maybe.
Yeah. I think I've seen it. I've seen it firsthand. I've seen it firsthand at home. And I'm just like, why do you keep doing this to yourself? I can't stop.
Can't stop.
Won't stop.
Can't stop, won't stop.
Oh, half of the room didn't get that. But because of course Chase is a metalhead. He doesn't know about Puffy.
I know a little about Puffy.
You
His
don't know
name
nothing
is
about
Sean.
Sean P. Diddy Combs. Puff Daddy.
He sampled Led Zeppelin.
Puff Daddy started many groups.
If we're talking, Led Zeppelin sampled a whole bunch of people, a whole bunch of bluesmen that nobody ever heard of, and Led Zeppelin are some fucking thieving bastards.
They were inspired by them.
No, there's a difference between saying that they were inspired by somebody and just stole some shit from somebody nobody ever heard of. Because it's just like, no, don't nobody know about Mudbone. Fuck Mudbone. We gonna take this song, we gonna add some rock guitars to it, and we are going to make millions of dollars.
We won't mention Mudbone at all, and that's how.
We're not gonna mention Mudbone one fucking bit. Fuck Mudbone. Forever. But next time we need a hit, somebody find out what Mudbone is doing. Immediately. shout out to other perpetrators like Elvis.
Yeah.
Yo, I had one of my coworkers, the Confederate supporter. She was talking about something was like an episode of Friends, and I said, I've never watched an episode of Friends. And she said, why have you never watched Friends? Friends is awesome. And I was like, well, I prefer Living Single, the place where they got everything from. And she was like, those two things are not alike. You fucking kidding me?
One's a group of black people, and one's a group of white people.
Right. It's like the guy who created Friends just saw Living Single and said, I could do that with white people. It made Friends. Like that's where Friends came from. The guy who created it readily admitted he saw Living Single and said, I'm gonna do that with white people. But like this lady, of course, she's a Confederate supporter, and she's also like super into like right-wing conspiracy theories. So like she won't gonna hear me anyway.
No.
Like, you know what I mean? She won't gonna hear me anyway. She's still mad about the fucking statues. Like for real, someone said if you're upset about the statues being taken down, you're either a racist or a pigeon.
Okay. I don't see no feathers.
Right. Okay, I completely lost my train of thought because I started tangenting. I tangented. Yeah. Oh, I was closing the show. Okay. Thank you to everyone else that will be listening to the show. We appreciate you. Send feedback through all of the avenues. All of the things are in the episode description. Shout out to Mike J and a purge to you, Cam. A purge to you, Cam. Chase, who do we have next week?
We have Rojas and Cam.
Rojas and Cam, word up.
I have an announcement for next week though. That's a little bit under the cover, but you may have to record it because I forgot I'm gonna be out of town. But I can do it through my phone. I can podcast through my phone, but you may have to record. I will look into avenues to see if maybe I can Twitch stream like kind of a phone thing where you can. I think you can stream like phone games. You know what I mean? Maybe I can stream Discord on my phone. I don't know. But I'll look into that. But like, I'm going to be out of town.
Maybe Prism.
Prism.
Mm-hmm. There's a streaming service through the phone that's supposed to actually be pretty good.
Okay, well I'll look into that. I need a background. But yeah, so the people that might tune into us will notice, hey, the stream looks different because it's not all like professional looking because it looks like a phone. Next week.
Is it really that professional looking?
Yeah, man. It has Scarcasm Podcast and has all our faces.
What's your Twitch?
Nepo.
It's Nepo.
Nipoe.
Yep.
I play on easy.
Nigga, I play on easy. You know it, son.
Of course I know it. I know it, and I know I can't say the first word.
Some people say ninja. Chase says that he's old and now he plays on easy. So like there's other avenues. There's other avenues now. Some people it used to be ninja was the safe way to say
I used to be part of the Mile High Club, but now I play on easy.
With that said, thank you everyone for checking out the show. We'll be
Thanks
back
for having us.
week
Thank you.
with Cam and Rojas. Did y'all want to get some shout outs? Like before we split? Y'all want to get some shout outs to some people?
Yeah, get some shout outs, y'all.
Can I just mention a few books that I've been reading that have helped me out?
Okay, man.
Your Psilocybin Mushroom Companion is a great book by Michelle Janakian, but
Spell it.
it's Janikian. Michelle. That one's good. I read through that in like 2 days. Like it was so amazing. Like because it goes back, it explains like the history of like mushrooms and where they come from and what cultures used them and stuff.
Right.
How to Change Your Mind by Michael Pollan. He's been doing a lot of good research. He actually wrote books about cooking and stuff. He was like a chef for a long time, but he started doing research into psychedelics and passing the word on that. And then, of course, the Psychedelic Explorer's Guide by James Fadiman. He's a big name, and our new psychedelic renaissance.
It's kind of like the Hitchhiker's Guide to Psychedelics. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? That's what that just sound like to me, son. But
those are good, and they really helped open up my mind to a lot of ideas and things about how to better yourself and stuff. So,
okay, do me a favor. I don't know how long it's going to take for Chase to send me the edited version of this, but
last time I did it the night.
Yes, send me links. Well, send me the names, and I will put links to those books in the episode description.
Yeah, I was about to say that, but yeah, just
so that if anybody wanted to, just send me the names. I'll find it on like Amazon or some shit, and then people can do what they want to from there. Just in case it helps anybody else. Like I said, if one person finds something out of this, then we've done our job. Anything for you, Rachel? Anything?
Shout out to me. Get off my planet on all social medias. Follow my TikTok.
I still haven't done the TikTok yet.
I don't post much, but it's fun. Follow my TikTok. Give me some likes. I'm dying.
Make sure you send me that link too. I'll put it in the thing.
Okay.
I'll put it in the thing. All right, so I think we're good here. It's been an awesome show. It's been a very long show. It's been almost 3 hours. Well, it has been 3 hours for us because we talked a little bit before the show actually started. But y'all not gonna hear all of that. Again, thank you all, and we'll be back next week with more August with Rojas and Cam the Trader. Peace out to the Warriors, yo.
Later.